Welcome to Wilson's channel.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Chat with Wilson podcast. This is episode 12, featuring a special guest, Will, aka DrasticPurge. What's up, Will?
Beef with Wilson. That's what I'm gonna be.
Chat with Wilson, aka Beef with Wilson. I don't know what that's about, but welcome back, man. Appreciate you for being here.
I got beef. We got beef, Wilson.
All right, I'm not excited, but I'm looking forward to seeing what you have to say about this unknown beef. But guys, thank you for being here. We have a live audience on Twitch. If you guys are watching this episode from YouTube, shout outs to you guys. We do have two special commands for the podcast. We have !podcast. In short, it's just a little summary of why I like to host these, and it's just to get to know my friends on a more personal level and just to talk about life in general. And then we got !guest, which is a direct link to our special guest's Twitch channel. Will doesn't stream as much, but he has streamed, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. So you could drop him a follow there. Yeah, as you can see, this is chill. He's munching, and we're just gonna be, it's gonna be like just two friends chatting it up, catching up, and just talking about various topics relative to life. We are close friends, just to give like a backstory, and he has been on this podcast way back in August of 2022. I had to look at the records, and there is a video that's up, so you guys could check that out just to get to know him more. So this is going to be more of like an update type of podcast, and just to talk like among friends type of ordeal. So once again, thank you guys, and alerts are offline. Let's get right into it, man. So, what'd you do today?
Oh man, I fucking had work, dude. Work was
Is there a lot of tea and stories to talk about when it comes to work?
yes and no. Work is stressful. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm a supervisor at Tasty.
Oh, I didn't know you were a supervisor. Okay.
Yeah. I started this job in January, right after Countdown. Basically, I mean, it's been easy. Running the shifts and stuff like that. This past Sunday, so the store that I work at, our sales aren't that high, and it's super super slow. But this past Sunday, I guess it's because of St. Patty's Day or whatever the promotion Tasty was running.
Mm-hmm.
But our sales were fucking through the roof, and there was only two of us, so we had a rush from 7 all the way to close.
What time's close?
10 p.m. So 3 hours. And
people.
The person that I was working with, he's a high school kid, and because state laws, work permit, stuff like that doesn't allow him to stay past 10:30 at work, I had to let him leave at 10:30. I did not leave until midnight, closing that store. And then the crazy thing, I opened the next day.
Oh, clopening.
I wanted to cry.
Clopening shift. What time do you guys open?
We open at 11, but
we have to be there early.
The opener comes in at 9.
Hey, you got a 2-hour shift to start, or at least to open?
Mm-hmm. The boba takes about an hour and a half, for those of you who don't know how to make boba. It takes an hour and a half to make.
Wow. Okay. So I guess we'll just like start things off with work, because we're, supposed to update each other. I know a lot in between, of course, 2022 to now,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of people don't really know what you've been up to, so you could definitely be detailed.
So the last time I was on, I was working for Starbucks.
Yes.
And I had just hit my 1 year. I was working there. Then I quit about the beginning of January of 2023. Then I ended up working with kids with special needs at schools. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I did that for 4 months. So from like February until May.
How'd you get that job?
I actually got that job through Cozy. So Cozy was working there already, and they were hiring. So I asked them if they needed another person.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I was in high school and and in community college, I worked a lot with special needs kids. So like I've always had a passion, and I've always had like interest in it and stuff like that. So I just You know, I was like, why not? Why the fuck not? Um, after that, so because they can't guarantee you, because it's a contract job, so they can't guarantee you summer hours if there's no need for it. So I was basically jobless for this after May. And so I ended up going back to my one of my older jobs. So right before I worked for Starbucks, I was working as a swim instructor. So I went back to that for the summer, and I was
Mhm.
planning on staying, but I didn't. I had no idea that I was gonna move until it got to the point where I needed to move. So I couldn't stay with that job, and then now I ended up here in. I moved, and now I'm at Tasty. I think that's it. I think that's all the jobs I've picked up. I did DoorDash for a little bit. That was very interesting.
In your area?
Um, yeah, in my area, yeah, it was stressful, but at the same time, it was more just like boring at the same time because it's like there are only peak hours where people are door dashing, and then because there's so many drivers in the area, it's like you're not guaranteed, you know, the money that you get. So or the money
Oh,
that you
okay.
want. Yeah.
So what was the like thought process to go for this tasty job? Were there other options that you're gonna go for?
So I quit my last job in August, and from August all the way up until December, I was looking for a job, but
Mhm.
I was looking for something like higher paying and stuff like that. And but the job market in California in general is just so fucking saturated, and it's hard to find a job, especially in major areas. So, um, it was just hard for me to find a job. Then I was like, you know what? Fine, I'll go back into the service job, you know, service industry. So I decided to do that. Allie inspired me because she literally a couple weeks before I did, she had applied to Tasties and she told me about it, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'll do Tasty as well. So, and I know what was it? Vinny used to work at Tasty too. That shit was funny. Peak
Yeah.
ABB moment.
You call it a peak ABB moment?
Yeah,
Is it specifically because Vinny did it or because it's tasty?
it's because Vinny did it.
Okay. There you go, Vinny. So, you applied as a supervisor. How was like the interview process?
I applied as a supervisor, and the interview process was pretty good. So with Tasty, there are corporate stores and there are franchise stores. So the store that I applied for originally, actually no, yeah, the store I applied for originally is a corporate store, and then so it was a store in, um, you remember where Banana Bay was, Wilson?
That's the Thai place?
Yeah, the Thai place with the alcohol,
Oh, the
the buy one get
drinks?
one. Yeah,
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 that's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
more
yeah, yeah,
north,
yeah. Of
right?
where I am. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, um, that Tasty was the original store that I applied for, right? And
Mm-hmm.
what was crazy is I went to the interview and the store manager did not show up to the interview. She had some prior engagement or whatever, right?
Okay.
So one of the supervisors did my interview, but then apparently, like, I guess that interview was invalid or whatever. And I was like, what the fuck? Why didn't you just say, let's reschedule? Right. And so, but then she asked me to come back to one of our other stores, which is about like, I want to say 10 minutes east of that store.
Mm-hmm.
And she asked the one question I think was the reason why she didn't want me at her store. She had asked me, I was like, well, why did you leave your other job? And I told her, I was like, because I live in Orange County and my other job is all the way up in Pasadena. So driving from Orange County to Pasadena 5 days a week was not worth it because it'd be an hour and a half drive with traffic. Or traffic would be 2.5 hours. Right?
That ain't it.
And then so her response to me was, "Well, I don't think you would be a great fit for this store because I can't guarantee you the hours that you want, and I don't think the drive is worth it." And in my head, I'm like, "Who are you to tell me whether the drive is worth it or not? This is literally half cut, like my drive to Pasadena, but cut in half." So I got a little pissed, and then I ended up Like, I thought, that was it. Maybe I don't work at Tasty.
Mm-hmm.
But then that store manager had reached out to another manager to hire me for the store at Costa Mesa and Torrance. So she ended up hiring me, and I am now a supervisor for Tasty for both Torrance and Costa Mesa. So if you want to come see me, say hi. I'm there.
How far are those locations to like where you live?
Costa Mesa is about 30 minutes south of me because I have to take the inside roads. There's no freeway directly connecting from where I live to Costa Mesa.
Yeah.
And then Torrance is about an hour from where I live because it's closer to Long Beach. So it's closer to Long Beach. But the reason why I work at both locations is because the store manager at Torrance really liked me, and she wanted me to so the store manager at Torrance, her boss is the manager that hired me, right? And she basically said that I could work at both Costa Mesa and Torrance because I ended up training with the new store manager for Costa Mesa. So the store manager at Costa Mesa was cool with it. His boss was cool with it, and so I work for both, but most of my hours at Costa Mesa.
Is this enough hours for you, or like how many hours are you getting, would you say?
Oh, not enough. I wish I had more hours. I need the money so I can fund my raving addiction.
I'm assuming it's not really like a consistent schedule either, huh?
No.
Oof. And you're okay with that because that's like your job.
Yeah, and I got nothing better to do anyways.
Okay, so would you say you're comfortable with that right now until you see what happens, or if you're looking?
Basically, yeah. So I wasn't planning on telling a lot of people this, but I was like, you know what, might make good conversation or get some people excited about it. But first off, the first thing is, well, this is not the exciting part. That the first thing was that my manager wanted to make me ASM because originally I was planning on trying to be ASM for Costa Mesa, which is assistant store manager, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which obviously includes extra pay. But the thing is, though, is that I don't think that's going to happen because of the fact that there may be a potential of me moving back to the Bay.
Oh, whoa. Yeah. Reasoning behind that?
I'm gonna say it's a personal reason. I don't.
Oh, okay.
I don't really want it out there, but there's a potential for me moving back up to the Bay, and I might transfer to the Tasty in Sunnyvale because I can only transfer to corporate stores. I can't transfer to franchises. Yeah. And the only corporate store in the Bay Area is Sunnyvale.
Damn, that'd be so weird to think about. Like half and half, because you've been in the Bay, of course. And I've seen you many times up here, but moving? Wow. So realistic.
It'll be like old times. When I was living in the Bay. Come on, let's say we could go to round one again.
How? Wait, yeah, you were living in the Bay for a bit. Yeah, you're right.
I'm born and raised.
No. At least from the time that I knew you and hung out with you,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot has changed since then.
I miss DDR Wilson, bro.
Oh my god.
We need to bring back DDR Wilson. We need to bring back DDR Wilson. We're going to round one and we're playing DDR, bro.
Damn, I'm still processing that you said you might. What's the actual probability or like the percent chance right now? Is it 50-50?
It's still 50-50. Not 100%.
And I don't even know how to feel about that because I feel like I'm so used to you just being in SoCal now.
What, you don't want me back there? That's crazy.
Hey, there needs to be a sense of balance with the homies down in SoCal and the homies in NorCal. That might be like a...
Are you saying that if I move back to the Bay, that there's gonna be an imbalance? That's crazy. So that's just basically you're trying to say that you don't want me to move back to the Bay. That's all. That's basically what you're saying. That's okay. It's fine. I just want to know how you
Okay,
feel.
we don't gotta like dive in too deep, you know, yeah, into this conversation. But
What are you, the fucking
that's a huge
Avatar?
heads up. The Avatar,
Create
yeah,
balance
create
between
balance.
North.
That's too much fire if you come back, bro. Give them some, all right? They need some. No.
It's okay. They have their group of people down here.
So you've already told a good number of our friends then about this.
I've only told 2 people, 3 people.
Oh shoot! Hey, podcast exclusive, guys.
No.
Yeah.
I told Smokes and Ali, and I told Emmy.
Ooh. What was Emmy's reaction?
Emmy was understandable, but I don't like that you're leaving me. I was like, well,
Valid.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Mm.
It's not you, it's me. I felt like I was breaking up with Emmy, bro.
What the... Damn. Okay, but back to finishing up the work topic at least. So there's a chance you want to go for the assistant store manager thing.
Yeah. So I was told that the Sunnyvale location was looking for an assistant store manager. So I talked to my manager about it, and he said that if once I make my decision, he can get the process rolling and talk to the manager at Sunnyvale to see if I would be a good fit as an ASM over there.
Yeah. From what you're aware of, is there a huge difference between the role, or like, yeah, with the role ASM and supervisor?
100%. There is a big difference. The ASM usually is supposed to help with like day-to-day activities as well as like admin work for the store manager. So it depends on what the store manager decides to pass on to the ASM. So it could be scheduling, it could be inventory, it could be, training. It depends.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, okay. Was
Excuse me.
since Ali led the way and decided to work there, I'm aware that even Soju is starting to work at Tasty, right? Do you work with any of them? Or either of
No.
them?
No. So the reason why I don't work with them is because well, number one, I did also apply to one in their stores. So the owners of the store that Ali and Soju work at own 4 different locations.
Oh, so
I
that one's
did
the
a
franchise one.
Yeah, so that's a franchise one. So the reason why I don't work with them was because I already got hired at Costa Mesa and Torrance, and they're corporate stores. And corporate stores, although corporate stores do interact with franchise stores, you just cannot uh like work for a franchise store because we're on 2 different payrolls.
Okay.
Like we get paid the same way, it's just we're on 2 different payrolls because it's yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. And when it comes to the specific job, though, what would you say is like the most challenging thing about working at a boba shop? You know, customer service.
Um Well, because I work with high school students, I
Yeah.
think the most challenging thing is not to yell at them.
Oh, okay.
There are times, okay, I'm a very patient person,
Yes.
but there are times where I have told these kids multiple times what to do, and they still don't do it, and it pisses me off. And because it's like in one ear and out the other.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a couple friends like that, so I already have to deal with it in my own personal life. I don't need to do it with work. So
Work life, yeah. Uh, would you say they like respect you since you are like still pretty young?
yeah. Um, the team member that I was working with today, he was all like, a couple days ago, he was all like, "Oh, Will, why does it look like you're just standing around and doing nothing at work, right?" And I was all
Mm-hmm.
like, I told him I listed everything that I did that night, right? It was like a list of like 15 things. And he's all like, "You finished all that?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Wow, you're so fast." I was like, "Because I'm good at what I do." And
Okay.
he's all like, "Well, respect for that because I feel like he was saying like he felt like he was like behind on every single task that he was assigned, and I was like, if you manage your time correctly, you basically can do what I do and stand around and do nothing.
Yeah.
No.
Nice. Okay. So that's like the new update, at least when it comes to the job. How are dealing with customers? Because I know that could be good and bad.
Um,
Any like recent stories?
I oh, you know what? We had this one. It was like I wouldn't say recent, but it was like definitely when I first started working at Costa Mesa, where literally my second day working at Costa Mesa, I had a Yelp review written about me.
Whoa.
It was a bad one. It was a really bad one,
Uh oh. Okay.
right? And so the thing is though is that that day I technically wasn't supposed to be on the floor. I was training, right? So we had 3 people working that day,
Hmm.
including, and then or we technically we had 4 people. So we had our manager, me, and then 2 other people. The 2 other people, one was a trainee and the other one was a team member, and I was training that team member, that trainee. So I wasn't supposed to be like serving customers or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
I was helping this trainee with making drinks and stuff like that. And apparently, according to this person, they were standing by our pickup window and I had looked over there and locked eyes with them, but then I went back to work. And they basically said that I had ignored them, right? And the reason I know that it was me was because they pointed out my hair in the Yelp review and they said the blonde guy. And that's yeah. And this was before I was like complete. I'm like this is before where like just the tips of my hair were blonde because not a lot of people noticed, but I did go blonde back in what August of last year, and then I just re-dyed my hair again a couple weeks ago.
Hmm.
So, but a couple weeks or when I first started working, it was just the tips of my hair. So the Yelp review specifically said the blonde guy, and I'm the only one with dyed hair at our store. So I was like,
Yeah.
fuck. But yeah,
Did you get in trouble for that?
Um, yes and no. He said that my manager said that I should even though I was training, I should have interacted with the customer at
Okay.
least.
Yeah.
But the thing is though is that like I was low key a little stressed because not only did I just finish my training to be a supervisor, the first week and second week of my time at Costa Mesa after my training, I was training other team members. So I got thrown in the deep end pretty quick. So I was more focused on training the team member than interacting with customers.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Dang. And the review is still up, huh?
Oh yeah, 100%. You
Okay.
guys want to see it? Search up Tasty Costa Mesa. It was like back in January.
Left your mark early, man.
Oh,
Jeez.
100%.
All right. Well, good luck to you when it comes to, future shifts and everything, and we'll see what
Thank you.
goes
Thank
down
you.
at Tasty. Tea at Tasty, guys.
I want to hire Vinny. Vinny, come back to work. Come back to Tasty.
There ain't no way he's gonna go back to that. Okay. Let's see. You got the new job. Let's talk about the living situation
Oh yeah.
since the last update. So you mentioned that you decided to move. Talk about why you decided to move and how you decided to move to the rave house specifically.
The Rave House. Is that what that's called?
Yeah, that's the title now.
What the fuck? Okay. Um, well, originally I was living in downtown LA. I can talk to myself now for that because I no longer live there. But
DTLA to OC.
yeah, DTLA to OC. Um, when I was on the podcast, I had just moved to that apartment maybe a month before in July. And then I was living there for about 15 months and then I decided to move.
Just
I
because?
chose
Oh,
yeah,
there you
just
go.
because I chose to move because rent was expensive already in downtown LA. The roommate that I was, not gonna lie, he wasn't really the greatest roommate. Um, and on top of that, like I had friends who were living in OC, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. One of their roommates is moving out. I need a place to stay. It's convenient timing, might as well, you know. Otherwise, like I wouldn't have been able to find a place to stay. Because I was looking around for a while, and it was just hard.
Hmm.
And then I decided, you know what, I'll move into this house down in OC with other people who also stream every now and then as well, or is a Twitch is on Twitch for or raves, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I wouldn't call this house a rave house. I could just call it a house.
It's
Of
okay. I talked to the
gaslighters.
others.
Of
It's the rave
gaslighters.
house now.
No, House of Gaslighters. That's what this is.
Well, that too. Well, that's a good one. That's a good one. What was the conversation like for you to decide to move there? Like, who was the first person you contacted? Was it Emmy?
It was Emmy. Emmy was the one who had originally found this house, and she's also like the one who's like, who we pay the rent to, because she pays the rent in full on her by herself, and then we pay her.
Hmm.
Um, so I was talking to Emmy about it, and I was wondering, and I asked her and stuff like that, because you know it's like you don't know if someone's comfortable with you living with them or anything like that. You know. Actually, no, I'm lying. I did not talk to Emmy about it first. I talked to I talked to Chill about it first.
Okay.
I had talked to Chill about it first, and then I mentioned it to Emmy. Yeah, and then that's what happened. And then I ended up, you know, moving in because everyone was okay with it and stuff like that. And then people were moving out, so I was like, yeah, fuck it, whatever. So I moved in to this house last end of August, kind of mid August. It was like right. Wait, no, no, no. No, it was September. I moved. No, it was September, October. It was
Uh.
September. It was after Nocturnal. I know it was after
Okay.
Nocturnal
Okay.
because Nocturnal. Yeah, it was October because Nocturnal was. I was still at my apartment and I got tempted to fucking go to Nocturnal because I wasn't planning on going, and then all of a sudden I'm there.
On me, baby. Um. Okay. So, when you did you have expectations when you like decided to move to your current house with everyone? Because I want to know what your thought process was like, and then what it actually is like living with everyone.
um, I came into the place. The only expectation was that whatever room I was moving into and whatever area I'm sharing, that it was clean. You know, like for me, I'm a believer in clean shared space.
Yeah.
Although, yes, sometimes like I'm not, you know, following that belief to the fullest because like there are days where I'm just like super lazy and I won't do the dishes, you know. But then I will do them the next morning or at least the next day, right? I'm not gonna leave it sitting there for like weeks at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that was the only expectation. Other than that, I didn't really have any other expectations. Like I was friends with everyone in the house. Like I knew most of them, and I figured, you know, we're gonna hang out here and there and stuff like that. But most of the time, it's just literally me to myself, unless like we all have similar events we're going to, you know. And that's what it was. So
So that's what it's like right now. You guys are literally just housemates, but then you don't necessarily like talk to each other every day.
not every day, no, but we do talk to each other. So
Yeah.
I was just in Emmy's room the other day, and we tried to introduce Bruno and Buns.
Oh, okay. How'd that go?
Um, I don't know. Bruno seems scared of Buns.
Damn, Buns is alpha as fuck.
No, for real.
We could segue and talk about Bruno for a bit. I was gonna lead
Yeah.
into that. So, okay, introduce Bruno, and how'd you even decide to get a cat?
Um. So for anyone who doesn't know, this is my cat, Bruno. Hi. He's sleeping. But I decided to get a cat because it was my birthday, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I need a fucking emotional support animal. And
Oh, okay.
like Ali and Delana were both telling me nonstop. Ever since I brought the idea up, I was like, should I get a cat? And then nonstop, they were like, Will, get a cat, get a cat, get a cat. And I was like, fuck it, fine. It's my birthday.
Uh-huh.
I ended up getting a cat. Drew and Delana for as my birthday gift paid for Bruno's adoption fee. So shout out to them.
Oh, they were the connection to get Bruno?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was gonna get Bruno regardless. It's just that they wanted to give me a birthday gift, and they both decided to pay for the adoption fee.
Oh, that's nice of them.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the information on Bruno, like the age and just personality?
So Bruno is, according to the adoption lady, which
Uh,
I still yet to believe, Bruno is a domestic short hair orange tabby. He's a fucking menace. Leslie describes him as the asshole of a cat. Like, Bruno will literally try to get into everything. And when I'm gonna tell you this right now, when I was at the adoption center,
mm,
Bruno slutted me out for Shirley because I saw Bruno and I was like, "Oh, Bruno's cute," like, or this cat's cute, right?
uh-huh.
And then I was giving attention to another cat, and Bruno comes right by my leg and starts rubbing on my leg, and I'm like, "You motherfucker!" So that was the reason why I picked Bruno. And
Damn.
Bruno's original name was Pollo, like chicken in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the story behind his name was I was constantly calling Biscuit, which is Allie's cat, um, Megatron, because I saw this TikTok about, like, guess it was a TikTok. I was like, oh, guess which one my boyfriend named, and then they listed the 4 cats plus their names, right? And I was like, that's hella funny that he named one of his cats Megatron. So I was calling Biscuit Megatron because Biscuit was also a menace. Is a
Uh-huh.
menace. So I was like, orange cats are menaces. That's why I'm calling your Biscuit Megatron, right? And then after I got Bruno, I was very 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 tempted to call Bruno Megatron. That was gonna be his name.
Yeah.
It is still technically his name, but it's his middle name. So his name is Bruno Megatron.
Bruno Megatron.
And the name fits because this guy is a menace. Look at him. He looks all peaceful and stuff like that. But waiting until I feed him and he gets the fucking zoomies. He's got a lot of feral energy, that's for sure. Yesterday I was playing with a little like fishing pole with little feathers at the end,
Mm-hmm.
and it got to the point where Bruno was panting like a dog, right? And he was going the tongue out and everything, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Dang, hyperactive.
Yeah, and then like literally 10 minutes later, knocked the fuck out on the cat tree yesterday. So yeah, that's Bruno. If you guys know where I live, you guys can come by and see him when I'm home. That's to any of my friends. Don't any of my non-friends don't do that. Don't show up to my house.
So how old is Bruno?
So, according to the adoption lady, he is 6 months old, but he is big for 6 months.
Whoa.
Definitely younger
Mhm.
than a year. So I have to take him to the vet to double check. But I am almost certain like he's like 9 months, 9, 10 months, or something like that.
Wow, okay. And so he's like a menace, like does he wake you up and everything and crave like a lot of attention then?
So the first night, he bonded really quickly. He slept on top of my back
Hmm.
while I was laying down, and I could not move. and then we were just like that for the rest of the night.
Nice.
And then the next morning, he, I needed to feed him, and so the next morning I guess he wasn't on me anymore. He climbed up on me around like 7 in the morning, and pawed my face like right by my cheek to wake me up, so he could get fed. And I was like, and I'm not a morning person.
Mhm.
I really am not. So every time I wake up to feed Bruno, I am
Dreading.
I am very, very cranky.
Oh man, parenting 101.
No. But no, he does that now. Like every time, like if he's hungry, like he knows his feeding time. So if I'm even like 10 minutes late, he will like either like create some chaos in the room by like running around or some shit like that. Like have like fake zoomies until I feed him, or he'll climb all over me and like hit my face with
Yeah.
his paw. So
Dang, there you go.
yeah.
Has Bruno been supporting you since you needed a support pet?
No. He's been making me depressed with my wallet emptying
Uh
out.
but
No,
still
Bruno's nice. He's definitely like when he cuddles up with me, like I feel a little happier. You know, it's like he's making me feel happy. So
yeah. How often does he go out of your room?
like once a week, maybe.
Ah, okay.
Now I try not to let him out because I still don't know how Buns and him will react to each other.
Hmm.
They've only met each other twice. So I try not to let him out of my room as often. But the thing is though is that we have a little hallway and there's a door at the end of the hallway. So I close that door and I let him out of my room to explore the hallway for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Because Bruno does like exploring. Like the minute like he's in a new environment, all he wants to do is explore. He doesn't give a shit about me. Um I brought Bruno over to Drew and Delaney's house, and Drew and Delana only let Tofu out. Tofu is
Hmm.
the name of their cat. And literally Bruno gave no shits about Tofu. Bruno was exploring the entire house and Tofu was stalking Bruno the entire time.
Curious cat. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, congrats on that. That's quite an update for your birthday too.
Yeah. I almost feel as old as you, Wilson.
You already passed me, man. I started going backwards
No.
years ago.
No. No.
Yeah.
I'm 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, back to more talk about the house because I'm always curious about the dynamic you guys all have. But it seems like you guys are cool just doing things on your own.
Mhm.
Do you feel like your relationship like developed further by living with them?
Yeah, I feel like I got a lot closer with them. I mean, with Emmy, I was already close with her. Like, I would talk to her often. I literally was there when I wasn't there, but I like was friends with her while she was moving from her old place to this place.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was I was friends with Chill. I met him back at EDC 2022, and then I just met JB, and I was like, yeah, I got a lot closer with all of them. So definitely like probably wouldn't have been as close if I didn't live with them. I'll be honest with
No, that's fair. I understand that.
you.
Eggy, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. I appreciate you guys. I hope you had a wonderful stream. We're chatting with Wilson right now, episode 12, featuring Will, one of my homies, just
Featuring Will.
podcasting. But seriously, thank you guys so much for joining in. I appreciate every single one of y'all and hope you're having a lovely night. Do your thing, do your thing. All right, so your dynamic has. I can't imagine living with friends. I feel like that's something that I've wanted to do as a child. But now that, I'm a lot older, I'm just like, I don't know if I could actually do that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have like any thoughts about that before moving in with friends? Because you probably had that since college or something, right? Living with a housemate, at least one person. and then to actually have so many housemates now, like do you like where you're at, or would you prefer like living on your own, or even just with like one person?
Personally, I prefer living on my own. I like the solitude because I have a space, an entire space, to myself. Um, but I knew what I was getting into when I decided to move in with people because it's like, living with people has ups and downs, and like it's just something that you have to understand. It's like you chose to get into this life, and that's what it is. You have to be willing to accept certain things that are done, as well as if things are not done, you have to fix them. So
Hmm.
like regarding responsibilities around the house and stuff like that, like taking out the trash, doing the dishes, like it's all agreed upon that we do our own dishes, right?
Yeah.
Trash, if it's filled up, at least fucking take it out and replace the trash can. Um, and there are times where it doesn't happen, and it does get a little frustrating. But I mean, I haven't had any real major problems here
Hmm.
as I have had in my previous place, so
That's good.
it's definitely a positive.
Yeah. I mean, it does also sound like the communication between you guys is pretty good, right? Like if you need to
Yeah,
talk about anything.
I mean, I, if I need things done, I will say it. I'm not going to uh, beat around the bush about it. If I see dirty dishes that don't belong to me and it's been sitting there for a couple of days, I'm gonna be like, someone needs to fucking do the dishes, whoever's dishes these are, and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Like I'll say it. I don't mind. I'm not really worried about it and stuff like that. But you know, it happens. I like some people just forget, or we're just a little lazy to do it because I'm guilty of that too. Sometimes I'm just lazy to do it.
Yeah.
So and that's all it is.
Okay. All right. I get the dynamic with you and everyone. Get a better understanding of what it's like to actually live with friends. This is a question I asked Chill and Emmy, kind of
Mhm.
a troll question, and I would have done this as an icebreaker, but we've already podcasted before. So, if you were to choose to save between JB, Chill, and Emmy, say
I
where
mean,
they were drowning. Oh, okay. They were
I mean, hundred
drowning, and you
percent.
can only save one. You
I
choose
mean,
Emmy. Why?
um, Emmy has been there for me through thick and thin, and I know no matter what, she has my back 100%. I'm not saying that Chill and JB don't. It's just that emotionally and personally, like I feel like I can talk to Emmy a little bit more, and like she does the same for me.
Hmm.
But and she'll talk to me about certain things and stuff like that. But like with JB and Chill, they don't like I can't. No, the I can't. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's just interesting to be able to hear your thought process through that question.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So your day to day right now, is it just work, chilling at home, and then like events, whenever here and there?
Yeah. Um I'm like I want to get back into school because like, I don't know
Oh,
if we
you
talked about it
do.
last. Yeah, I don't know if we talked about it last time, but um I think I did say something about I want to get back into school, but it just wasn't the right time for me. And honestly, right now it still isn't. But eventually, like I want to get back into school, which is also gonna make sense. It makes sense for me a little bit more for me to move back to the Bay, so then that way I don't have to worry about paying for rent. So I could put that money into going back to school.
School for what though?
Um, the same thing I was for kinesiology.
I can major.
Yeah, I've always had a passion for kinesiology. That passion never really like went away. So
Yeah.
definitely want to get back into it.
So if you go back to school, how many years do you expect yourself to be in school for?
To get my so I already have my associate's degree.
Okay.
To get my undergrad and my bachelor's degree, I'll probably do another 2 years.
Not bad.
And depending on where I want to go with this, if I decide to go the physical therapy route, that would be another 4 years in med school, plus whatever residency. I have to do my research, but I don't know what
Dang.
the requirement is. I know it's like 4 years in med school and then residency and stuff like that.
Yeah. So you have a general idea, basically.
Yeah. If I decide to go the PT route, if I decide to go AT route, which is athletic training, I only need to get my master's.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a lot of school. Wow. So, other than that, since the last time we talked, let's say August 22, right? How do you think you've changed as a person? If you were to like summarize or just like recap it.
Um, I I definitely want to say that my change from 22 to now was definitely like I used to take a lot of shit from other people and like just roll over and be nice about it. You know, it's like, oh, people like people fucked up or whatever, and I'm like, oh, it's okay, I forgive you or something like that, um, or I just accept what happened and I just don't think about it and I felt like the way I reacted towards it gave people a sense of like, oh, Will's a pushover or Will just rolls over easy on things, and I could just say whatever.
Uh huh.
So definitely from then till now, I definitely stopped taking a lot of people's shit. I stopped trying to, because I think back in 22, I was trying to make a lot of new friends, and I was like talking to a lot of new people. Um, but now I don't, and the change from 22 to now, like I just like no offense to the people who want to talk to me or who want to get to know me and stuff like that. I just hate people. I just I my reaction towards it is that like I have been screwed over so many times, and I feel like I have enough friends to the point where like I don't need to make new ones. And
Wow.
I'd rather just keep the friends that I have
Hmm.
instead of trying to make new friends and like leave my current friends.
Yeah, that is interesting. I would like to definitely deep dive into this conversation because I
Yeah,
always
no,
find it
for
interesting
sure.
to talk about friends. So whatever you're comfortable talking about, of course.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
remember? So the first time you and I met
yeah.
was the end of 21, right? Um,
Um.
it was the end of 2021, right? Well, not like officially met, like we met like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
beginning
yeah,
of
yeah,
22, right? But
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like in your chat
I
like
knew
at
of
the end of
you.
21.
Yes.
Yeah. So during that time, all the way until the end of 22, you knew me as the guy like, oh, I'm willing to meet new people and stuff like that. I'm down to say hi and stuff like that.
Oh, yes, for sure.
But nowadays, like I just I just don't want to talk to anyone.
Hmm.
It's for me, it's like I'm open to meeting new people, but what you're not gonna get from me is an effort to try to get to know you.
Hmm.
Yeah.
No, I get it. How you explained it. You're pretty comfortable where you're at,
Yeah.
so it is okay to be selective, like with who you get close to. And I could see that. I definitely get the sense, like from you and a few of our friends who like may not be as open as like meeting people and stuff. I get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about those friendships? Like, what do you mean by you've been screwed over before? Especially
Mm.
during that, let's call it a like experimental phase, since you've been like meeting so many people. Why do you feel like you were being a pushover, and how are you just like being taken advantage of in your eyes?
Um, I felt like so I wouldn't say recently, but definitely that I've known this person since like I've known this person for a while. I still consider him my friend. I just don't talk to him as much as I used to. And it's not and I'm not specifically pointing out this person because like the because I want to call this person out. I'm specifically pointing this person because it was the first thing that came to mind. Plus, it's like pretty recent. So,
Okay.
um, I'm not gonna say his name because I don't want anyone to like um, think bad of him or anything like that. But the people who know will know.
Yeah, it's not to start drama. Just to be clear, it's for you.
Yeah,
It's you like
it's just as an
actually
example.
expressing yourself
Yeah.
from your
So,
POV. Okay.
this person, like when I first met him, I definitely like looked up to him, like an older brother. And this was like definitely before. This was like right before countdown of 22. And like we were all hanging out and stuff like that. And like it was all fun and games. It's like I enjoyed his company, and I respected him, and I looked up to him as an older brother. But then throughout the entire year of us being friends, and up until now, my it's upsetting to say, but it is the truth. My respect for him just went down because of certain things that he did, um, and the assumptions that he would just make regarding like wanting to hang out, or like um whether or not, like, or constantly begging me or any of our other friends to hang out. And he knows about this because I literally sent him a long ass text message about it, and I called him out for being selfish, because he would only work on his schedule, or he would only want to go out on his schedule. Like, he would eat right after work. If I'm tired, I was living in LA, and he was definitely like 30 minutes away, and the place he wanted to eat was an hour away from me. And he and stuff, and it was pissing, it's because like when I want to go eat, like he's like, oh, I'm too tired or whatever, right?
Mhm.
But then when he wants to eat, like he's like, oh, come on, Will, don't be like that, or something like we never get to hang out or something like that. And I'm just like, dude, I literally just saw you last week, you know I don't have the gas money for this shit. And on top of that, like, because you justify that you're on the way to the place that we're about to go eat, that I should come pick you up. So it was just like it pissed me off a little bit, and I just started getting tired of it. And definitely, like, it started getting more expressive, and like, or he started expressing that selfishness a lot more recently.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that he knew what he was doing. He might have not known. He's just more just like, he was more thinking for himself than others, and he just didn't realize it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just like with that, and then on top of that, like, like, you and me both rave. Like, raving is all about being with your friends, and then eventually, like, meeting new people and making new friends.
Mhm.
And I just feel like nowadays, and I'm not blaming any of my other friends for this or anything like that, but they know who they are. But the last few times I have met new people because they decided to bring people in, it has caused nothing but drama. And honestly, I don't like drama when it involves me. I just like reading it and talking about it with other people, you know? So if it involves me, then the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna shut down and just not talk, not say anything. Like,
Disassociate. Yeah.
I'm gonna disassociate from it. I I refuse to partake in any drama. Um, and if someone decides to call me out and says something invalid about me, or decides to slander me, then yes, I will fucking say something. But if it's just a feeble attempt to try to get my attention, then, you know, the most I'll probably do is like subtweet you for being stupid. Because that's what you are. You are being stupid.
Mhm.
But other than that, unless you directly at me and you say some shit that's not true, I'm not gonna partake in it.
Yeah.
So that's what it was. It's just like ever since then, like with meeting new people at raves and stuff like that, like introduced through my friends, like it just, like, not a lot of people say this, or not a lot of people agree with this, or either, or say that they agree with this. But the thing is, though, is that there's always that notion, you know, that if you introduce someone to your group of friends and then that one person fucks up and starts a whole bunch of drama or some shit like that, that's a reflection on the friend that introduced them because they were their friend. And so, like, let's say me, I'm friends with like person A, right? Let's call him Alex or whatever, right? And then Alex introduces me to his friend. His name is like, I don't know, fucking, let's say Saber. Okay, we'll use Saber's name because I like starting shit with Saber.
Okay.
Um, and then Saber fucks up because he yaps too much, right?
Uh-huh.
and so I don't like Saber anymore. And now because
It's a different
I
Saber.
don't like
Different Saber.
and
Yeah.
now because I don't like Saber, it's a reflection on Alex because I'm like, that was your friend, bro. That was your friend, and he fucked up.
Uh-huh.
So that's what it is. That's why like I definitely have that notion in myself. Like I have that belief where like if your friend fucks up, you got to realize that that was your friend that you brought into our group.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it was, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so you mentioned quite a few things. With that part, I guess you're more just selective, and it really depends on personalities. Because realistically, like more and more people have joined the group, and it's because of mutuals inviting them in, and then you just vibe with them well compared to others. Like so, those are like the success stories, right?
You can say that.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I could give like a few examples. Like I will name some people like as of that I could think of recently. For example, like Maddie, Chrissy, right?
Yes, yes. There
Yes.
are some people that that are brought into the group that I'm like, yeah, you know, we're friends because they're not fucking weirdos.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, don't be a fucking weirdo. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying that like you know I'm weird in my own way, right? But
Yeah.
I'm not a weirdo. No, I'm not. I'm not some type of guy that's like you know, fucking is weird with other people. Says some stupid shit and or like you know doesn't read the room. You know, if it's a serious moment, like be serious. Don't make a joke out of it. You know, or like in the moment, like yeah, I am weird. Like I say a lot of stupid shit. You know, but that's around my friends who I'm comfortable with and like have the same humor as me, you know?
Okay. So to me, it sounds like, of course, you have these real life examples, right?
Yeah.
I don't want you to name like who, of course,
Favorite.
right? I know, I know, but like when were these scenarios? Like especially the one you're just talking about. It just sounds like someone is kind of weird, but it also sounds like they got way too comfortable too quick without getting the actual vibe of everyone and seeing like how the dynamic is. Is
Wait, I
this
don't understand the
no?
question.
Is this recent? Like this real example you're talking about?
Like, oh,
This
about
supposed saber, like being weird, saying shit,
yeah,
making jokes.
yeah, I would say so. I wouldn't say recent, but
Oh,
I mean, depends on your definition of recent. But this, okay, okay, let me tell a story.
yeah.
This is funny.
Real life
Okay, I'm not gonna use
examples.
any. I'm not gonna use any real names,
Okay.
but if you know the shoe fits, don't be offended. So a year ago at Beyond, um, one of my friends, we'll call him Bobby,
Hmm.
decided to adopt a kid. And when I say kid, I mean freshly 18 into his Ray fam.
Oh,
And at that time,
hmm.
I genuinely did not like talking to anyone under the age of 21, even though I was 22, right? But I just didn't like talking to anyone under the age of 21 because, you know, I want to drink with people. I don't want to have to worry about whether or not I'm going to go to jail if I offer you a shot, you know? So, But the thing is, though, is my friend decided to adopt an 18-year-old into a rave group, and I was like, whatever about it because I wasn't really gonna try to get to know him. But the thing is, though, is that like, we ended up merging groups on day two. Uh, and you know what? I will say, at the time, I thought the kid was cool. He wasn't like weird or anything like that. He was he wasn't he wasn't saying shit that was stupid or whatever, right? He was like having fun, enjoying his own time, and But then, what was it? A couple weeks, like 3, 4 weeks later, at Dab in LA, this guy, like, I will say he was not sober, but this
Mm.
guy was brought into my group at the time, our rave group, from my other friend's group, right? So it was just that kid that was brought into the group, right?
Yeah.
And this guy was not sober, but the thing is, though, is that, like, he, I want to say he did too much, and he was then trying to like flirt with every girl in our group. And at the time, each and every one of those girls had a boyfriend. Um, then he was constantly asking all the tall guys for shoulder rides, and it started getting very annoying. And in that moment, because I felt like I had to, like, I was in like protective mode, right? I was like, this kid is not like acting straight, and I need to like take care of him, or someone needs to take care of him, right?
Yeah.
And and that's what it was. It was pissing me off because I was like, Dabin is like one of my favorite artists, and I'm missing his set to watch over this kid, or like having to talk to this kid or handle him and stuff like that. And
Mm.
so I was definitely upset.
Yeah.
And I told my friend about it. I told my friend who adopted him into a rave fam, and he was also very upset and apologetic to me about it. And so I was like, you know what? Okay, that's it. Maybe it was just that one time. One and done. He's not that weird. He's not like, obviously, like, I'm not saying that you are in control. You are in 100% control of yourself when you're not sober. But the thing is, though, is that like, if you have morals, you definitely can control yourself from from breaking those morals. I will say that. Unless you completely black out, then that's a whole different story. Like, I'm not saying that's an excuse, but it's a whole different story.
Mm.
So I thought that was it. I thought that was one and done. Like, he was only weird at that event, but then it started snowballing up. It started piling up. When was the last time? When was the next time I saw him? Next time I saw him was 5 months later. No. Was it 5 months later? No, the next time I saw him was at EDC. But there wasn't really much interaction or anything like that. And then after that was Slander. Again, not much interaction. But then it came to Nocturnal.
Oh.
Nocturnal, I wasn't planning on going, but then I decided to go. I had no idea that my friend and this kid was going to be there. And until I found out, and I was like, "Oh shit, hi!" Right? We met up with them, and I was trying. At the time, I was trying to like talk to this one girl, but like, I got, because when I'm not sober, I definitely get a little bit of anxiety and stuff like that, and so like, I I was already having a little bit of anxiety trying to talk to this girl, but then at the same time, this kid is like right next to me because he kept on following us. You were there, Wilson. He kept on following us, and um, then I was talking to Saber because Saber was standing right next to me, and this kid turns around and sees me talking to Saber, and like puts his ear up and it's like, "Oh, what you talking about?" And I'm like, "Why are you so nosy, bro?" Oh, it started pissing me off because like this kid was following us and he wasn't with his Ray fam and stuff like that, and so I got upset, and then I decided not to talk to the girl because I didn't want to be upset and talk to the girl. So, you know. I fumbled, that's for sure. But yeah. Then it came to countdown. That was the last time I've ever seen this kid. This past year, countdown.
Mm-hmm.
This kid knows he fucked up. This kid knows, 100% knows he's fucked up. He was part of our we were all in a pretty big group for countdown, but then we all went our separate ways. But there were times where we would meet up. This kid could not look me in the eyes. He was scared of me. And I was like, as he should. As he should.
Mm.
Because he was not like, I'm nice enough where I'm not going to leave a person hanging, you know? I'm not going to, if I see someone fucked up, I'm going to make sure that they're okay and stuff like that, you know? But I'm definitely going to have thoughts about it and be like, damn, that's crazy. Where are the people who are supposed to take care of him, and why aren't they here to take care of him, and why do I have to be doing this shit, you know? That's what it was. So.
Yeah, that's one. That's a quite an example, especially since it lasted throughout the year too.
Yeah, it did. And
Okay.
I hold it over my friend's head to this very day.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking on that, since you said there's a correlation to the friend because he was the one that introduced the person to the group,
Yeah.
right? So you hold that against him. So do you typically have like a track record of who brings who, right? That's what I understand. And like if they've made like a good impression or not, and like if you were to like give them, let's call it a strike, right? In your head. Is there a sense of like balance to it, considering that that friend has also introduced you to a lot of good people? Like a scale, a seesaw. Like, what do you think about that?
Because I'm still friends with them.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I would not be friends with someone because they introduced someone else who fucked up and stuff like that. Like, it just, like, I'm the type of person I will jokingly hold it over your head. I don't, like, there are only certain things I really hold grudges about, and
Mm.
introduction to new friends who are weird isn't really one of them, unless, like, they really fucked up. Like, either they just, you know, started spreading rumors, or they fucked up by financially borrowing, by being in financial debt with other people, our other friends and stuff like that, or even with me, stuff like that. That's when I will probably hold a grudge. But if it's just something like the story I said about being weird at raves and stuff like that, then I'm not gonna really hold a grudge against it. I'm just gonna jokingly hold it over my friend's head and be like, "Oh, remember this one time," you know, because
Yeah.
I'm toxic like that and I'm weird. So
But then at the end of the day, you want that person to keep the friend in check if that were to like,
100%,
if they're
yes,
to associate,
yes,
yeah,
100%, yes.
with the group.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't expect it to be this story. I thought it was like a complete other story about like someone being weird and all that, or just like bringing the wrong person to
Oh,
the
that was
group.
the first. That was the first.
That came to your head.
First story that came to my head. I mean, you know, I have so many stories.
No,
right?
I
You know.
do, I do. So I thought this was like a whole different one.
No.
Okay, for sure. There's a lot more to talk about. I'm gonna take a quick restroom break. Do you need to use the
Okay.
restroom or anything?
Yeah. I just need to grab my Gatorade. From
Okay,
back there, but I'm
okay, go
chilling,
for it,
yeah.
go for it. I'll be back too, and then we'll resume. All right, again, thanks to everyone for tuning in. Alerts are offline, so apologies if I missed anything, but I do see all the chats, so I'll wave and everything. All right, we're on the topic about friendships. You talked about a specific story relative to that, which in a way gives you like the ick or something,
Yeah.
and that has to do with like mutuals. And this is also like one of the many reasons, I guess, that you talked about, in which you feel more, I would say, I would word it as closed off when it comes to meeting new people. So you're just more selective.
Yeah.
Before getting into other stories, if you have any, I do want to talk about what you mentioned earlier.
Mhm.
You talked about someone you looked up to and how it seems like you had a fallout. You mentioned like sending the huge text and everything, and it sounded pretty one-sided because you deemed the other person as being selfish. So let me start off by asking, why at the time, or maybe even now, did you look up to this person? Like how?
Um, I looked up to this person because he he had told me, like, I was talking to him about my relationship with another person, and he had told me like a lot of things about his current relationship with his girlfriend, and how it was very different from his past relationships and stuff like that. And he definitely had a lot of like wisdom to offer, and I genuinely, thought I genuinely had good feelings from it. I like his wisdom was like valid, and I understood everything he said, and I took it to heart. And so I looked up to him because I thought, maybe there's more that I can learn from him and stuff like that. But the only thing I learned was I'm more mature than he ever will be. So
So that's what happened.
yeah.
So follow up. When you did send like the message and everything, it sounds like it's built up for you.
Hmm.
So you finally like let it out with that conversation. What ended up happening? Like what was his
Um,
response?
his response was more just like, "Oh, I'm sorry" and stuff like that. And it just seemed like he was more into like brushing off the entire thing rather than actually trying to fix it. Because then he would like say things like, "Oh, I'm trying to fix this," but then like when I tell him that the things that he's messed up on, then he would just like fix it then and there, but then go back on his word afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it's like a temporary fix type of thing, but nothing's really
Hmm.
changed to you.
Yeah.
Ooh, so you don't think that there is a chance of reconciling or just like being able to talk again?
Um, I mean, we still are like, if we're in the same group when we're hanging out, I'm not going to, ignore him.
Yeah, you're just not that close anymore.
I'm just not that close anymore. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it does sound like this was an important friendship too, especially if you looked up to this person. So, based on this fallout, do you think that contributes to your perception of like who you keep close?
Yeah. It I would say he's definitely one of the reasons why like I am keeping my circle a little smaller than I normally would, and I'm not really trying to meet new people.
Yeah.
So he's definitely one of the big reasons why. Because I've given him a couple chances. I've like he has said things regarding like he has his own downfalls and stuff like that, and he has said things where he would like try to fix himself, but then he wouldn't. And I just in my head I'm like, if like yeah, you could say these things, but don't lie to yourself and don't lie to your friends about it.
Uh huh.
Like I'll be honest, I at the end of last year I said I was gonna quit vaping because I just genuinely wanted to. And so but the thing is though is that I knew for a fact that I wasn't going to quit cold turkey, you know. So I all I said was, oh, I'm gonna only do it at events, raves, and festivals, but so then that way maybe I could cut, my nicotine addiction and cut the cravings. And I'll be
Hmm.
honest, my cravings are cut. Yes, there are times where I do vape every now and then, right? But the only time I ever have a craving is if I'm like super, super stressed out. And I've only ever felt that way maybe once or like 3 or 4 times this year, ever since the new year, like super, super stressed out. So, um, it helps to have my friends who understand my goals and like how I want to proceed with quitting. Um, because and then it also doesn't help when I have friends who instigate. But it's also very funny. Like I will say something. I will say her name because she said it to multiple people. But Leslie, when she was here for Elenium, said that she was gonna instigate me to vape all weekend, and she did, you know. But the thing is, though, even after she left, and even like when I was staying up for BTSM, like I was vaping, you know, but now I don't have cravings, you know. I don't have those nicotine cravings, which honestly I'm happy about. So I don't have to, you know, sit here and have to put something in my mouth in order for me to talk to you, Wilson. So
Hmm.
actually, while I do, I need to drink water, but you know.
Nice. Nice substitute. All right. So, still on the topic of friendships, a lot of other things I want to dive into. You also mentioned like you don't like being involved directly with drama or just like being in talks. Like, was that another specific story?
Um,
Or was that not really like relative?
there's a story, but the thing is though is I think out of respect for the other person involved, I am gonna choose not to tell the story
Hmm.
because I just don't want this person to feel like I'm talking shit, you know?
Okay.
Because I will say that this person, I mean, does follow you on Twitch and may or may not see this, and I just don't want them to feel like I'm talking shit. So I
Okay.
yes, there are specific stories, but I just choose not to.
But then this like has to do with like changing your view on friendships, right? Like this is also relative to a fallout.
Yes, because okay, so I will say that this person and I, we became friends really quickly, um, and we got very close very quickly.
Hmm.
Um, After our falling out and we were no longer friends, things were said about the both of us to the both of us, and then assumptions were made, and then it just there was no way back from reconciliation. So it just blew up, and there's no way that we this person and I could ever be friends again. So
Mm, okay. Got it. We'll leave it at that. So as of now though, since your like perspective has changed where you don't feel like you're as open anymore and you have like a good set group and everything, right?
yeah.
What makes you value this group that you have in particular, or like talk about like some of their traits or characteristics that makes you feel comfortable where you're at?
Um, Definitely some people in my group uh have the same sense of humor as I do. So if I were to make a joke, like they understand it and stuff like that. There are others who like I've gotten so close with that I treat them like my little sibling. Um, for example, Ali, she and I got really close after dabbing. And I basically treat this girl like my little sister. She and I fight all the fucking time. Like we have difference of opinions, and like there's times where like she gets really mad at me about certain things that I do, and there are times where I get mad at her about certain things that she does. But it's usually always her getting mad at me because I just do stupid shit. So I will note this one time though during our friendship because when I first met her, she was on this wave about how she's always right. Like there's never not a time where she's wrong. Um, and so this one time I was driving her home back to her place after hanging out with all her friends, and we were all gonna go to her house to hang out afterwards, right? I parked right next to a tree, right? And I thought she saw it. But Allie just straight up swung my door wide open and smacked that pole or smacked the tree. And I was all like, I looked at her with so much distraught, and I was all like, Allie, what the fuck did you just do? and and in that moment, she knew she was wrong, and she knew that I had every right to be mad at her. But the thing is, though, is that like I didn't want to yell at her because I'm very protective of my car, but at the same time, my passenger side door has been abused by so many people. Um, so I just brushed it off and I was like acting like it doesn't matter, right? And so
Okay.
we were in the house, in her house, and I kept on bringing it up because I was low key a little mad about it, and I was being a little toxic. And then she's like, "Well, it's just a passenger door. It doesn't matter." And in that moment, right when I heard that, and I was so pissed, I was like, "How could you be so dismissive about the damage that you just put on my car?" And I left her house and didn't talk to her for a whole day. And yeah, but I mean, Allie and I are still friends. Like I said, I treat her like my little sister. She gets mad at me for the stupid shit I do,
Hmm.
and I do stupid shit just to piss her off. So
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you just need time to cool off, and then things will fall back in place, and
yeah,
relationship got stronger since. Definitely.
yeah.
Okay, so that was like a specific example, but like what traits and values do you get out of like the friend group that you have right now that makes you comfortable enough to not be as open to, being close or getting to know other people?
I feel like it's the willingness to be open and open to difference of opinion. You know, everyone in our group is, or most people. I'm not gonna give everyone that privilege, but most people in our group are very open to difference of opinions on certain things. And I think that's what makes me appreciate them a little bit more because they're not afraid to voice those differences of opinions. Yeah,
Hmm.
we fight about it or whatever, but the thing is, though, in the end, we're still friends, and we're not gonna be like, "Oh, I'm not friends with you because we have a difference of opinion." And I'm not talking about like politics or anything like that. I'm talking about like just the way we would handle certain things, like for example, like if someone were to borrow money from me and they haven't paid me back in a while, like how would I handle it?
Hmm.
Personally, me, I would call them out on it. Other people would be like, "Oh, I would remind them constantly and just understand where they like maybe they're in a financial crisis or something like that." And that's what it is, the difference of opinions. Like I understand that this is what you want to do, but the way I want to handle it and stuff like that. And in reality, having those difference of opinions definitely helps me out because it stops me from doing something so like rash and that I might regret it later on. Because I will be honest, there are some times, and it's all up in my Twitter drafts, where I wanted to call someone out on Twitter
Yeah.
about the stupid shit that they did. Um, if I remember correctly, I think there are about three of them, three big ass drafts on on my Twitter
Okay.
about three different people. And there are times where I have texted texted my friends, and I'll be like, "Hey, should I just do this?" Some of them are like, "Yeah, fucking do it. I want to see it unfold." Others are like, "Well, I don't know if you should do it because you got to think about the repercussions, not only to you but to like other people and your friends, especially the ones who are still friends with them."
Devil's advocate.
Um,
Uh-huh.
yeah, but in the end, I just do the best of both worlds. I'll call them out, but not at them, so I'll subtweet them.
Yeah, but if these are like your close friends, you do like confront
Oh,
them and
if
you
it's
talk to
yeah,
them.
if oh, absolutely. If these are my close friends and they did something stupid, I will literally call them and be like, "Hey, you're being stupid right now. What the
Yeah.
fuck are you doing?" You know? Like I told Saber the night we got him drunk that he was a yapper. and and he's like, "I don't yap." I was like, "I promise you, you yap."
Yeah, and I feel like you could do that. You could call people out, especially when you're close to them, right? So it's good
Yeah.
that you feel comfortable enough to say
Yeah.
that to
I
certain
mean, I
individuals.
I do feel like if I really wanted to, like even if I'm not close to them, if I really wanted to, I would call them out
Uh huh.
because in the end, like I have done this a couple of times where like I would tell people things that they don't want to hear,
Okay.
and either either one of two things will happen. Either they will understand what I have said and they will try to better themselves for it by changing something, or they don't like what I said, they hate me, they don't want to be friends with me anymore, and so be it. Like
Hmm.
I really don't care whether they choose to be friends with me or not. Um, because in the end, if I am right, what's gonna happen is either they still choose not to be friends with me, but they'll realize, oh my god, Will was right. I regret I either regret not ending that friend I regret ending that friendship, or oh, Will is right. Even though our friendship ended, I'm gonna try to better myself for it. Or if they decide to still be friends with me, they'd be like, "Oh my god, Will, it's like you called it. You knew exactly what the fuck was gonna happen." And I was like, "Yeah, I do." Like, if I'm not thinking from like an emotional perspective. You came to me for advice.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking from a very objective perspective. It's like if you're gonna do this, think about the repercussions. If you're gonna do this, think about how it's gonna affect other people, stuff like that.
Hmm.
So that's all it is.
Okay, what does it take to be close with you and stay close with you? Like, how much do you demand as a friend as well?
Um, I don't know how my friends would describe me as, whether or not I'm a high maintenance friends or low maintenance friends, but I kind of like to think of myself as a low maintenance friend. Like, yeah, there are times where I do want to hang out, and there are times where I do want to go raving, but at the same time, like we could literally not talk for like 3 months, and we'll still be friends, and I'll talk to you like we've been friends forever.
Yeah.
So I would like to consider myself a low maintenance friend. Like, I don't really need a lot of my friends. I would like an interaction, like every now and then. But me, I literally go raving every weekend. Like I I can survive on my own. I just need some sort of human interaction with my friends every now and then.
Sense of balance. I agree. I think, well, at least between us, it's low maintenance. I see that. I don't know how you are with them, like since you live around a lot of them, but
Okay,
I
I'll say
see.
this: Smokes is very high maintenance. Smokes is the most high maintenance friend I have.
Yeah,
This
okay.
guy has my location, and anytime I turn it off, he's the next he's the first person to call me and say, "Why is your location off?" Like, yes, I will say that I am very guilty of this. I do check my friend's location. I collect all my friends' location like it's Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I do check my friend's location, but I'm not gonna call you up and be like, oh wait, oh, why is your location off, or where you at? Is like, I will text you that though, right? I will text you that. But the thing is that I'm not constantly always checking location. So yeah, Smokes literally needs to know where I'm at all times, and who I'm talking to, and who got me cheesing all day, and stuff like that. Now he wants to know everything, and then if I'm not giving him enough attention, he's all like, "Fine, it's okay. Go hang out with everyone else. It's fine."
Okay. Nah, but I feel you
And
on that.
yeah, Smokes is the reason why I don't need a girlfriend, because he is my
Nice
girlfriend.
balance, balance. Um, I definitely understand what location thing you're talking about, but not just like to Smokes. I feel like there's only a handful of people that have ever like done that to me, or at least called me out from where I was or I've
Mhm.
been, and it's definitely you, Smokes, and Allie. Top three.
Well, yeah, I mean, every fucking time I'm checking your location, Wilson, it's either you're supposed to be at home, you're either at work, or you're at Pure, or you're wherever, whatever rave you are. But you're only at a rave on Fridays or Saturdays. So if you're not at a rave but outside your house, I will be like, "Where are you at?
That's fucking
What you
crazy.
doing?"
That's fucking crazy. He knows it's Friday, Saturdays. Nah, real, real. That's actually so funny. The details.
Yeah.
Still low maintenance. All right, low maintenance, guys.
Yeah, I mean, like it's just for me, because like these are my close friend. Wilson is a close friend. Like, they know I do it to troll and stuff like that.
Mm.
The underlying part of it, like there is some part where I do care, and like I want to know where they're at because I want to make sure that they're safe. But at the same time, it's just more like I put this facade that I'm trolling and I'm stalking everyone because I got nothing better to do. Even though, yes, I have nothing better to do, but I just want to make sure my friends are safe on a Friday and Saturday night.
Uh huh.
We're out partying. We got to make sure our friends are safe. Check
Hell
on your
yeah.
friends,
Check on your
guys.
friends.
Check on your friends, because you don't know who's going through it.
That's so funny because the other day, Smokes was like, "Yo, like, why is your location off there, buddy, or something?" And then I was just like, "The fuck? I never turn it off. What do you mean?" And then I confirmed that it was just bugged between us, but it was still working for everyone else. So I was just like, "Okay, I'll resend it." It was just so funny.
Is
Like,
that why you reset your location to me?
yeah, I reset it.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. So, what was it? I want to say, was it after? Was it after? I want to say, was it after Millennium when we were up at Thunderdome, and then we came back to the Bay? I had gone home, and I think I turned off my location on purpose. I want my
Oh,
friends to know where I was, right?
okay.
And it wasn't even an hour into me turning off my location, I get a call from Smokes. Smokes was like, "What you doing? Where you at? Why are you hiding your location? Why are you driving?" And I was like, "I'm out and about. Can you leave me alone?"
It's a game for him, yeah.
Yeah. So
No,
I mean,
good means it means well. For you mean well.
yeah. I mean, I don't care. I mean, I appreciate that, he's checking in on me. I appreciate that, I have at least one friend who checks on me.
Yeah. Okay, so we talked about some of the fallouts you had when it comes to friendships, and I get an idea of like what you value now when it comes to people, and even like certain icks. Was there any like anything else that catered to why you're not like as open as to like meeting people, or did you have like any other fallout that you could talk about? I feel like all of it has
Mm,
built, you know, like built character for yourself.
um, I don't know. I feel like it's just meeting new people. It's like it's hard to meet new people because people are like very to themselves. Like, uh, I I will say this: there are times Vinny has never done this to me, but I've heard stories. But Vinny does drop off services at a rave all the fucking time, and I'm hearing stories about this all the time. And it's like, how are you going to bring a random person that none of us know into our group and introduce them and then leave to go find someone else and then never come back?
Nah, he's guilty of that for sure.
Yeah. So that's what it
Oh
is. It's
boy.
like, it's like, think about it like from the perspective of that one person that he dropped off.
Hmm.
You have now put me in an awkward position in meeting your whole group of friends, and I'm just standing here solo. Or the perspective of the group of friends is like, who the fuck is this? Why the fuck are they so close to us? And where the fuck did Vinny go? It
Bro, it's like we're not even talking shit. It actually happens.
actually happened. And like I said, I'm not saying that Vinny did this to me because he never did, because I
Mm,
was never around,
mm.
but I hear stories.
Okay, yeah. So I actually have one. It was EDC, right? We had a decent size of a group, so we're like rallied together. There's obviously a lot of people at EDC, so we're just like walking to the stage, and I just noticed that like these two people were like very close to us in the same group, and they were just following wherever we were going, and there was no introduction whatsoever, right? I didn't even know whose friends they were. So then we were just chilling there. I noticed they were in the back of our group, blah blah blah. Vinny disappears, and then later on they just kept following us. And then I finally went up to one of them, and then I was just like, "Oh, what's up? Like, who are you? Like, who do you know?" And then he said like Vinny's last name. And I'm like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, you know Vinny? And then he's like, "Yeah, like they were friends like since high school or some shit." And then I was like, "Yeah, that's one of the moments where he just left his homie, and he was just willing to vibe with us. No introduction from Vinny whatsoever." Yeah. So that was my situation, but everyone
Yeah.
else apparently knows
Yeah,
or had
Vinny
something with
drop off
Vinny.
services are crazy. I will say,
He leaves his nuts.
from I will say from like I don't know when it stopped, but I haven't heard any stories since then. So good job, Vinny.
Yeah, he's definitely changed for the better. Now he just wanders off and
Hey, but
has
EDC's
stories to
coming
tell.
around. We don't know if that's gonna happen again. So it could happen again. I'm a little scared. But another thing. Okay, I will say this. I will tell this story.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not gonna name names because I don't want to start any shit.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it goes to the point where like people are very to themselves, especially at raves nowadays, because of like how like, oh, we don't want to meet weird people, or like it's just not a lot of people are like you, Wilson, where they want to talk to everyone.
Oh yeah, I know for a fact.
So
Yeah.
this story is from Countdown this past year,
Okay.
day 2.
Uh-huh.
One of our friends, um, asked me. He didn't really ask me. He just showed up to my car with a random girl and
Oh, okay.
assumed that I was gonna give her a ride back to our hotel. And there's a whole story behind that, but I'm not gonna say it. But um this was just some random girl. She didn't even say hi to me. She didn't say thank you. I was the one driving. She just and the thing is was I didn't want to leave my friend here because he was all like, oh, if you don't give us a ride, then I'm just gonna call an Uber. And so I'm being the nice person that I am. I was like, whatever about it. So she got into my car. The entire time, she's just completely quiet, doesn't say anything. We go back to the hotel. She doesn't even say thanks, right? And that is also another reason why I do not like meeting new people because they just take, and they don't fucking say shit. They don't say thank you. They don't. I'm just like, So, yeah.
Did you
No,
ever like confront the friend and like had a resolution?
no, I haven't talked to him since.
Okay.
I genuinely like haven't talked to him since. I have a lot to say about it. I'm not gonna say it here, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I know the situation and I'm just like basing off of everything we talked about earlier. But do you feel like you're not going to say anything because you're not close enough to get to that level or to like talk about it? Or do you just feel like
I'm
it's
not
not
gonna
worth your
say
time or
anything
what?
because he knows what he did was fucked up. He knows what he did was fucked up.
Uh-huh.
The only thing I will say from it is that I probably deserved a better apology from him. But that's up to him. He wants to talk to me about it, then he can. I'm open to it. But I just it's not worth my stress. It's not worth my time.
Yeah. Okay. No, I just to like conclude this like specific topic. Like I was there
Yeah.
when
Yeah, you were.
I was okay, I was there when they met and everything and it was like messy. Let's just say that. It was messy. Nothing against him, of course, cuz
It
like
was
shit
dirty.
shit goes down and then I didn't realize what happened to you and them after like until way later.
Yeah.
But yeah, just kind of like the thing where you just have to be aware of your surroundings type of
Yeah.
ordeal.
Plus, I mean, after the whole I'm gonna say her name because it's so funny that this happened. After the whole Jay Choi incident, and reading about it, like that right there just set it off. It's like I do not wanna get scammed or be the person known as the idiot who fell for someone saying that they were like a nurse or anesthesiologist at the age of 24 when they're not even a fucking when they don't even fucking when they aren't even 24. What it is like I don't want that incident to happen to me. So that is reading that story like shut the door on trying to meet new people.
But it's also like you are smart enough to be able to read people and like kind of get to that point where you feel like you know the person, right?
Yeah, but the thing is like I have my opinions about the whole story. You know, I was like,
Yeah.
in the end, like, yeah, you dated this girl or whatever, but are you that stupid where you think someone is smart enough to be an anesthesiologist by the age of 24? Like, I know some of my friends who literally just finished or just started getting into nursing school or just finished a nursing school and are now working in a hospital, you know? And we're 24, 25. Yeah, nursing. But the thing is, those anesthesiologists is a doctor. So if my friends are finishing nursing school and just started working at a hospital, you know, doctors are longer. So it. I'm sorry, but it says something about your intelligence.
I didn't read into the specifics, but I saw like a lot of comments kind of
It was very fun to read. I will say that filled my need to read drama for the next couple of months. So
uh-huh. Okay. Other things to talk about. I guess specific events since we're also catching up at the same time. So, how was your birthday? And like the event, everything that went down, especially at Riot 10.
um
Mirror POV.
my birthday, it was all right. I mean, it was better than last year. Like I genuinely, for me, I'm not much to celebrate my birthday
Mm.
because so anytime like you see me out on my birthday, it's more just for my friends, not really for me because they want to celebrate it. Um, on my birthday, um, all I did was go eat food with Ali, Elisa, and Saber. Um, the only reason, okay, so each one had their own reason why they were there, right? I invited Ali out because Ali guilt tripped me and said that she took the day off for my birthday, so I was like, fine. Um, Saber said that he was gonna show up to my house, and I did not want this man to show up to my house randomly on my birthday. I would not be in a good mood. And then Elisa randomly texted me that day asking to go get dinner. And I was like, oh, I'm already going to get dinner. Why don't you join us? She had no idea it was my birthday
Mm.
until Ali came over to my house with a cake. And then Elisa beat the fuck out of me because I didn't tell her that it was my birthday.
Uh-huh.
Oh, but yeah, so that's what I did on my birthday. We had cake at my house, and then that was it. The day after, we went to Riot 10. That that day, I went to go buy a giant bottle of Hennessy. What was it, like $95? That shit was expensive.
Oof.
Um, that was for Saber
Because it was his
because
actual birthday that day.
it was his birthday. It was Saber Geese. It was his actual birthday, and we went to Riot 10 to celebrate mine and Nathaniel's and Saber's birthday.
Who came up with the idea to go to Riot 10?
Um, it was me actually. I was the one who came up with the idea because Saber was all like, "Oh, let's go to Peekaboo," or it wasn't Peekaboo. It was something else.
Uh-huh.
I forgot what it was, but it was my idea to go to Riot 10 because, and I was like, dude, not only is it at one of the newer venues that Insomniac just acquired, it's like it's Riot 10. Yeah, it was so, okay. So it was Peekaboo. Yeah. So I was like, I'd rather go see Riot 10 anyways, and I'm sure Saber would too. So I brought up the ideas of Riot 10, and he was like, "Yeah, fuck it, let's do it." Right. So we went to Riot 10. Um, I brought the bottle of Henny. We all drank Henny. We had rules. You know, everyone who was there, doesn't matter if you drove, had to drink because it was three people's birthday. Come on, you know.
Yeah.
So the rule was you refuse the cup or the pour, you get an extra shot.
Okay.
Um, obviously we were responsible about it. Okay, we like some of us did actually have to drive, so we sobered up by the end of the night. But you know, the main birthday boy Saber, he was not driving because I picked him up from his house. So he probably was the most drunkest that night. Most drunk that night. And the crazy thing is that he walked into the venue so buzzed as fuck, right?
Yeah.
He walked out of the venue at the end of the show drunk as shit.
Ooh, he mixed.
Normally it's supposed to be the other way around. You come in drunk and you come out somewhat sober, you know? But no, this guy came in, was buzzed, left, and was drunk as shit. He was in my car. We had a little bit of Hennessy left. And because we're driving all the way from LA, from Hollywood, all the way down to OC, um, I told this guy, like, this guy would not stop yapping about these two girls he met at Avalon. He would
Ooh,
not stop fucking
okay.
yapping. All right,
I didn't know about
because
this.
apparently these girls also bought him drinks because they asked if it was his birthday or whatever, right? So this guy would not stop yapping,
I see a pattern here.
and
He always
so
liked
I
twos.
told this guy,
Oh.
"Let's play a game." He got so excited. He was like, "Okay, what game you want to play?" I was all like, "Shut the fuck up," and he's like, "Okay."
This is at the event?
This is on the way home,
Okay,
on the
okay.
drive home, right? And then so then Saber says okay, right? And I told him, I was like, the rule is if you want to yap, you have to take a shot because we still had some Hennessy left, right? So, and I also told him he's not allowed to disrespect the bottle by putting it on the floor of the car. So he was holding the bottle while I was driving home. But the thing is, though, he wasn't he wasn't respecting the rule. He was yapping nonstop on the way home, but he wasn't drinking. So we made him. By the time I got to his house, we made him finish the Hennessy bottle before he could get back into the house.
Oh my god.
This guy got out of the car, was not aware of where he was,
Uh-huh.
and he tripped over the
No.
seatbelt of my car and fell out of the car, trying to get back into his house.
Oh no. Saber. This is the most drunk you've ever seen him too, right?
This is the most drunk I have ever seen him. And he said peace.
Damn.
Obviously, like, we made sure he could get back into his house. He was able to get into the house as drunk as he was, but his dumbass forgot to close the screen door. So his screen door was just wide open.
Mhm.
But yeah, that was the most drunk I have ever seen Saber, and it was definitely a night to remember. I don't know how
Iconic
much he...
pictures, and the video was iconic.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I saved that shit, Saber. I love it.
I will always have those pictures and videos.
So, what actually went down that night, though? Did everyone have a good time while they were there? Because I heard that shit happened.
Um. Okay, so this is my personal opinion. Um, the set itself was good. The crowd was not. We came into Avalon with the expectation that there were not going to be any mosh pits because of the fact that there were signs literally all over the place saying no moshing.
Okay.
Right? And
Yeah.
I have a very strong opinion against moshing at a club
Mm.
because everyone's there to have fun. And if you're creating space for yourself to mosh, you are taking space away from someone else.
And it was crowded.
And it was very, very crowded. Um, there are times where people were like just not the vibe and they were all up in our business or whatever. This one guy tried to flirt with Allie. Nathaniel told him to walk away. I told him to walk away. This guy kept on trying to make fun of us when we told him to walk away, and it was definitely upsetting and disappointing.
Is making fun of you guys?
Yeah, as we were telling him to fucking walk away, he was all like, "Oh, you guys are so serious at a rave." I'm like, "No, dude, it's because you're all up in our business. You're trying to flirt with someone who clearly doesn't want to flirt back with you, and on top of that, she has a boyfriend. Um, like, dude, like, just fucking leave. Like, no one wants to fucking talk to you, and that's all it is, you know." There was another time, one of our friends got punched in the face.
Fuck.
I don't think it was on purpose. I genuinely think it was an accident, but it just ended up being, on his face.
Wait, who got punched?
Drew got punched.
Oh shit. Oh wait, I think I did hear about this. Okay.
Yeah, and
But he was good.
no, he's good. Yeah, I had to separate them,
Oh, because he was about to like
because
go in
Drew
on him.
thought that he got punched on purpose.
I see.
Yeah, so and Drew was very drunk as well. He was also very drunk.
Mhm.
So like obviously like we were just trying to separate them and stuff like that. We kept them going inside and outside the crowd only because like people needed to have space. The mosh pits were getting too close to us and stuff like that. So it was just like it just sucked. But overall, like the crowd was not it, but the set was good. I enjoyed this set. Right 10 played all his classics, played a lot of bass. Towards the end was a lot of techno and drum and bass. Definitely upset he did not play the SpongeBob remix of Real Breaker. He played Real Breaker at the end, but he
Mhm.
didn't play the SpongeBob remix. And we got edged so hard because there were SpongeBob visuals at the beginning of his set.
Yeah.
So we thought that he was gonna play the SpongeBob remix of Real Breaker.
Okay. And then were you guys all pretty much grouped up? Because Saber's saying that he also side quested.
Yeah, Saber decided to leave us because he hated us.
Damn, on his birthday. Shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
He just said, "Oh, you guys are terrible friends, and I don't want to drink with you guys anymore. I'm gonna go find some new friends." That's what he said.
Blame chill. He told me to. And then also Nathaniel got his phone stolen, right?
Nathaniel did get his phone stolen.
Damn. While you guys are all together too.
Yeah, I don't. I honestly am very surprised because normally, uh, pickpocketing doesn't happen at clubs, but I guess it did because I genuinely did not think that there were going to be any pickpockets because like I've been to raves at a club so many times. I've never had it, never experienced or seen anyone experience
Yeah.
pickpocketing. Like I know like people lose their phones and stuff like that, and that shit gets found and lost and found. But other than that, pickpocketing, I've never seen that happen actually. So
Oof. What do you think of the venue itself, though?
it's a very nice venue.
Okay.
It's very spacious. I'll say that. It's 2 floors, so definitely I think it's worth getting a table at this venue. Um, because being in the pit, you can only survive for so long before the moshing gets to you.
Is it as big as like the Exchange and Academy?
Um, I want to say yes and no. Actually, no, it's not. It's not as big.
Okay.
It's I want to say it's definitely bigger than Time, but it's not as big as Academy or Exchange.
Okay, cool. At least overall, it was like I guess it was a good experience. Half and half. It doesn't sound like it was one of the better ones, but it's still something.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was just the venue was just, or the people were not it. So
Mhm. Okay. I do want to. I mean, we're leading pretty much into like the EDM world and stuff, and there's always so much to talk about when it comes to that. But let me talk about something else real quick. What's the update when it comes to your love life?
um, damn, just straightforward with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you want to be like just situationship dating aside, I think my last real relationship was back in 2018, and I've been single ever since.
Okay, so where are you at right now? Do you think you're ready for one, or are you just kind of like talking to people here and there?
Um, I honestly don't know if I'm ready to be in a relationship. I never really thought about it.
Fair.
I don't really have this notion where I need to be in a relationship to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
I do
Which is
think
great.
I will be honest, I do, I do think about my past relationships, past situationships, past people I've dated and stuff like that. And like I think about like what could have been better, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't ever I never thought about like, oh, I need to be in a relationship to be happy. I whatever happens, happens. And that's the vibe that I am at, you know? It's just like if something happens, I'll go with the flow. If not, then I don't really care.
Mm.
Because right now I'm not really pursuing anything, which a lot of people, and I will name Saber, I will name drop Saber. The first few times that I hang out with him, this guy straight up thought that I was like at every fucking rave that I was having a rave bait and stuff like that. And I was like, no, that's not true. Because I don't go to raves to find a rave bait. I go for the music and the friends.
Yeah. There's
It's just convenient that you see me with a girl.
yeah, there's I guess there's like a running joke around with the friend group where it always comes to that, but I agree that realistically
Yeah,
you're there
dude,
for
no,
the
literally everyone
vibes.
in our group thinks I'm literally there and I always get a rave bait and I'm like, no, that's not true. Like it's everyone in our fucking group and I'm just all like, dude, it's like out of every single rave I have been with, each and every one of my friends, I've only ever brought one rave bay back. Or like actually had a rave bay in front of them. And that was countdown of this past year.
What happened to her?
What do you mean what happened to her?
Like what's the situation right now with her?
Oh, I mean we're friends.
Oh,
That's
okay,
it.
okay.
We're just friends. Yeah. I can't do long distance relationship.
Was there talks about going that to that route or what?
Between me and her, we talked about it for a little bit, but I just told her I genuinely do not think that I can handle a long distance relationship. Like
Okay.
I don't mind having long distance friendships,
Yeah, yeah.
but relationship wise, I don't think I can handle it.
Okay, that's being realistic. What do you consider as like a long distance relationship? Because people kind of have their own gauge of like a few hour drive or something, 3 hours, 6 hours.
If you live further than what I'm willing to drive, that is a long distance relationship. And what I'm willing to drive is at most an hour away.
Okay.
That is a long distance relationship to me. I have been in a couple. Okay. Realistically, though, like I have been in some long distance relationships before.
Yeah.
And there was when I was in high school, I dated a girl who was living in LA when I was living in the Bay. You know,
Uh-huh.
I like that's a long distance relationship. I just genuinely don't think I could do it. Like my love language is physical touch and quality time. And although yes, quality time can be handled over the phone and like through Discord and stuff like that, physical touch cannot. So I can't do it.
Okay.
I tried, but it just didn't work out.
As of now, or like since the last time we talked about relationships and everything, do you believe your type has changed, or like what qualities do you look for when it comes to like
Did
your
we talk about
interests?
my type in in our last podcast? I don't remember talking about my type.
There's you guys can look back at the podcast episode. I don't remember the specifics, but I do remember asking about that.
um, ABGs. Those are my type, and it's not the typical ABG that you guys think is. Specifically,
Wait,
Australian baby girls. Ugh, Australians. I have an affinity for Australians. I really do. I
how did this happen and why?
I don't know. Okay. So I think even before I met you, I've always had a thing for Australians. I just never had Australian friends, and it wasn't until obviously I was on Twitch that I started making Australian friends and stuff like that. Um, but I will say this: like one of my friends now, she's from Australia. We hung out a lot during EBC last year. Um, and I had a good time. I genuinely liked her as a person, and but obviously, like I said, I don't do long distance, so it is what it is. But I don't know, man. I just feel like every time I see something Australian related on my TikTok, I just, my knees just buckle. I crumble.
Wow, keeping it real. It's a whole other continent, buddy.
Yeah, it is.
Unless you get lucky and you meet someone here or something.
It is. I don't know, man. You ever heard of the term passport bros? You ever heard of that term?
What does that mean?
I'm about to turn myself into a passport bro, I'm telling you. Um basically uh the term passport bros, or people who identify themselves as passport bros, are like people who genuinely believe that they cannot find a good or genuine relationship with another person or another woman in America because of the standards that are set and the expectations that are set.
Uh-huh.
So they would rather, travel abroad to find a genuine and more like genuine relationship or something that they want across the seas rather than try to find it in America.
That's a good point that you brought that up. Like
This, yeah.
what are your thoughts about like dating in today's society in America?
Um, fuck. I wouldn't know. I haven't gone
Or
on
how would you describe what you see then?
um I just feel like people set themselves up for expectations and end up getting disappointed more than actually getting like, satisfied, or they set themselves up for expectations, and it ruins the chance of having a genuine connection with people because you're talking about people who say that they want someone with a good personality, but then there's so much more that they want other than a good personality that it ruins the chance of creating that genuine relationship. Because let's say that, for example, my type of personality was the type of personality that this another girl wanted, But then there's also the whole physical attraction thing. Is this girl wants me to be 6 foot, or this girl wants me to be a certain race, or this girl wants me to, be muscular, right? Then the whole physical attraction side of it ruins the chance of having an emotional connection and understanding that maybe I am the personality that this girl wants, I'm the type of person that this girl wants to hang out with or be with.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the society that we live in, because you can say that you want a girl with personality. You can say you want a girl or guy with good personality, but then do you actually want that? Or are you and looking for a genuine relationship, or are you looking for physical traits first and then trying to find the good personality within it?
Yeah.
Because I could be 6 foot, Korean, handsome, good looking, but then I could be an asshole of a fucking man. I could just be the most childish person ever, and it takes my looks to even get a date with a girl, and then she realizes she fucked up.
Yeah.
So that's the society we live in. And it's disappointing. It really is. But at the same time, like, that expectation also goes for guys as well. Guys want um guys want a girl who is, you know, thick or has a body or whatever. They have their expectations on body types and shit like that, or like, and then they say they want a girl with good personality.
Mm-hmm.
Um And I will say, when I was younger, I was definitely guilty of this. But like I said, that's a society we live in, and that's just how it is. And it sucks. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I haven't really tried to pursue anything in the last 6 years. So
Yeah, I see. And to add to that, I agree. I think everyone just has like really high standards, and right now, it's like people are weighing their options because
yeah,
there's so many options, and they just want like the best that they see fit for themselves. But
yeah,
then there's like a thing where a lot of people aren't committing to relationships, and it's more like situationships or whatever. But then I think the mentality behind that, whether they recognize it or not, is like it's because they're constantly looking for someone better.
yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely heard some people talk on that. So yeah, I see what you mean. And then now you're talking about the passport bro thing.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I might have to be a
Intriguing.
passport bro at this point. It's
Uh-huh.
just I mean, like I said, I'm not really looking for anything, but if I really wanted to, it's just hard to, because like every like this in this day and age, if a guy approaches a girl, like if I genuinely wanted to approach a girl, be like, "Hey, how are you? What's your name? I just want to let you know that I find you attractive and I want to get to know you more, as a person. Can
Mhm.
I take you on a date?" Right? Shit like that. If like obviously guys don't say that shit anymore, it's like it's definitely that, but like let's say if I were to do it to a girl, right, and I was like, oh, I say all that shit, 9 times out of 10 her response is, who the fuck is this creep, why is this guy saying this shit to me, 9 times out of 10. I have never seen, but then again, I am attracted to ABGs, so it could be because they're ABGs that they're rude as fuck, but um
Okay.
but then at the same time it's just like like when a guy approaches a girl, it just ends up being like, "Oh, you're a man, ew." And as girls, they have every right to do so because the men in this fucking world are fucking disgusting. They think that they're entitled to a lot of shit when they're not, and it sucks to see that that's a society in the world we live in, But when it comes to people who genuinely want to find a good relationship, it's hard for them to. So to all my friends out there who never see me pursue a girl at a rave, that's the reason why.
Okay. Ooh, good point. Good point. Gonna bring that back up later as we continue the conversation. Do you
Okay.
find it easier to be friends with a guy or a girl? And then follow up question: Do you feel like do you feel closer? I like you can be closer to girls or versus guys. What are your thoughts?
Um, I would say it's easier for me to make friends with guys,
Hmm?
but it's easier for me to get closer with girls. Um, as of right now, I could probably say that I have more girlfriends than I have guy friends.
Like closer?
Well, close wise, I would say that I have more close guy friends than close girl
Oh,
friends.
okay.
But just in general, I have more girlfriends than I have guy friends. Um, and I think that's just mainly because like most of the people that I ended up cutting off were guy friends. So now I have more girlfriends than guy friends. But it's with getting close with my friends. It depends honestly. Like I don't really talk much about my life. Um, unless someone asks me about it, or like if I were to say something about my life, let's say you and Smokes, for example, right, Wilson, I'd probably tell you one part of my life, and I'd tell Smokes another part of my life, right? But
Yeah.
I wouldn't tell each other the other part,
Hmm.
Like I'd give you a little bit of my life and stuff like that, but that's what it is,
Yeah.
that's only because I don't know. I think it gets hard for me to get personal, I've never genuinely believed in having that one friend who knew everything about your life.
Hmm. Just haven't gotten to that level with someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's definitely levels to it. Like there's like whether if it's a guy or girl, like there's certain people you could talk to about like more of like the emotional things versus like day to day
Yeah,
stuff,
that's
right?
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like secrets too or stuff like that. More sensitive and private topics. Okay, so that's your take right now, like when it comes to being closer to guys and girls. I mean, yeah, guys and girls.
Oh,
Bless you.
thank you. Yeah.
Um, so finishing up, like I guess significant other, like potential significant other questions. Do you have like any new, maybe like red flags or just any that comes to mind?
Regarding,
Just like relationships in general, or just like when it comes to a potential match.
um, I do not, me personally, I do not believe in meeting family within the first 6 months of you dating. Like maybe your siblings and cousins, or okay, let me specify meeting parents. I don't believe in meeting parents within the first 6 months of you guys dating. Um, Genuinely, that's my thought only because I my past experience meeting parents before the first 6 months, or even just meeting immediate family,
Hmm.
has not been good.
Oh.
So I've only ever had one good interaction, and that's with a past girlfriend. But that was after dating her for 6 months. Um, but then shortly after, we had to break up because we were graduating and moving to another school. So it was like a short-lived meeting for the parents and stuff like that. But it was a good interaction because her parents loved me.
Hmm.
But like I said, it's just like that is one thing. If they talk about meeting your parents within the first six meeting the parents within the first 6 months, that's a red flag, and I run away from that shit. Because why are you so interested in wanting me to meet your parents instead of trying to build this relationship that's supposed to be you and me and not you, me, and your parents?
Yeah.
Like that relationship between me and your parents can happen later. Because if you want to be in a relationship with me and this is a relationship that we are set to get married or whatever, right? Then we have all the time in the world for me and your parents to get close. This is the time for you and me to build our relationship and realize whether or not we're compatible for each other. Because not only are you setting yourself up for failure, right? You're setting your parents up to be disappointed. It's like, oh, we did all this work to meet your parents just to break up, you know? Um that is that.
Interesting.
Uh
Okay.
Another red flag in a relationship is, in my eyes, once a cheater, always a cheater.
Hmm.
Um,
So no second chances.
I don't believe in second chances. I genuinely don't. I do believe in growth, and maybe if the growth is shown, then there may be a potential for another chance. But I just, in the moment, if you cheat, you cheat. It's like that's it for me.
Yeah.
Um, Another red flag in a relationship is being too controlling. I understand that everyone has their own past relationship experiences, and like in a relationship, even when I'm dating someone and we don't have a title, right? If I feel comfortable enough, like I will share you my location. You know, if I feel comfortable enough, I'll let you go through my phone, or I'll let you I'll scroll through Instagram while you're laying with me. But my phone is my phone. Like unless I'm comfortable or we have that title, like I just don't believe in like you being controlling and all up in my business and stuff like that. Because I'm a very straightforward person, so if if I had something to hide, I would hide it. I grew up with an Asian mom and an Asian dad who snooped through everything, and an Asian mom who literally like tried to find proof of everything. I am pretty good at hiding things when I want to. But the thing is though is that when I'm in a relationship, I don't have anything to hide. If you ask me, I will tell you. If you don't ask me, I will. I, it's not running through my mind, so I'm not gonna offer up the information. Like I'm not thinking about it, you know.
Hmm.
For example, like this, there was this one relationship, or what? Not relationship. It was more just like I was dating this girl, and she asked me about this vacation that I took, you know, and I gave her like minimal details, because I didn't really care about the vacation. It wasn't really much to me. And then she saw pictures of posted because I was with friends, and asked me why I didn't tell her about it, you know? And I straight up said the thought did not cross my mind. I I didn't give it a second thought. It didn't make me feel some type of way. And so I don't know why you're bringing it up when like I didn't even offer up the information because it wasn't even, you know, crossing my mind about what had happened, you know?
Hmm.
But according to her, I sat too close to a girl.
Okay.
So like I understand, but being controlling is definitely a big ick for me. Like I want to have my own freedom. I don't want to feel like I have to hide something from you. Because if it gets to that point, then that's where it's like I probably will believe that the relationship has to end.
Mm-hmm. All right, so those are some of your red flags. When you talked about the cheating one, I'm just curious, like, what are your thoughts about the different types of cheating? Like, do you feel like physical or emotional like affects you more than the other, or what?
Um, I think what hurts more is emotionally cheating because the person that you're with is now emotionally connected to another person,
Mhm.
and that hurts more than fucking a person one and done, you know, or kissing someone one and done, you know, never having a second thought about it, you know. That getting emotionally cheated on hurts a lot more. And I guess, you know, it's just like it puts a lot of self-doubt in you, you know, because I did get cheated on once, you know. It's just like it um it put a lot of self-doubt in me when I got cheated on. And I was like, what did I do wrong? What was it me? Was it that I did not give her enough attention? Was it that I am I ugly? Uh am I the problem? It's a lot of am I the problem questions, you know? And it's like it puts a lot of self-doubt into why things happened the way they did and whether or not, you know, I should just never ever date again because I don't want to be hurt like that. So,
So would they both apply to, like, if the person were to grow, like, would
mhm.
it balance evenly? Like, if it was like emotional or physical cheating, like for you to be like somewhat open minded down the line.
Yes, because they have chosen to work on themselves, and I see that there is a lot of emotional growth.
Okay.
But the thing is, though, is that like I have yet to see someone that I have either been in a relationship with or even friendships with, you know, like friends who have emotionally grown from the reason why, you know, I I stopped being friends with them or stopped being in a relationship with them, you know?
Yeah.
Like I actually no, you know what? I lied. There was only one other person. There's only one person that I've seen grown from it. But the thing is, though, is that she and I, we both had our mistakes and stuff like that, and we both have grown from it,
Hmm.
and we're still friends now. You know, there were times where we were not friends because of certain things,
Yeah.
um, but we're still friends now, and that's all it is. You know, so like I'm willing to give it a chance if I see the growth.
Hmm.
But when I don't see the growth, then I'm not talking to you. Like I just do not. like you have chosen to stay the way you are, and because of that, I just refuse to even be associated with you or even talk to you.
Okay. All right. So I know you're not actively looking or anything right now,
Mm-hmm.
but at this day and age, do you have like a mindset of when you would want to settle down by? Do you have like a set time?
No,
Okay.
my commitment issues are way too. Ugh.
Do you even
I
think about that?
to even think about that. Yeah, I okay. Like I said, I don't know whether or not I'm really ready for a relationship. I just know that if I were to get one, that it would be a very big struggle for me because I have a lot of like commitment issues, a lot of mommy and daddy issues as well. And I'm willing to accept that and admit it. You know, it's all like my parents were not present for me when I was a kid. My mom stepped out when I was 8, and she tried to get back into my life when I was 14. My dad was there for us financially, but not there for us emotionally or as a parent. You know, he was there, he provided for us, but in reality, he was just more driven into his work because he wanted to make money for us. You know,
Hmm.
and I'm not saying that he didn't care. That was his way of showing that he cared. It just I wished for more, and that's what it was.
Yeah, the emotional
So
connection.
the that is probably why like my mommy and daddy issues were like at an all-time high. My commitment issues are there too because you know my parents, like to be the oldest child out of my parents and to see their marriage fall apart right in front of your eyes, and as an 8-year-old to believe that it is your fault because they're always arguing about you makes me feel like love is not real. And then it resets every single time I see one of my friends break up with their significant others. So like I don't know, maybe like what I want to say last year around August, I have seen 7 breakups within 4 weeks. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And so I was just like, yeah, that just shows that I should not be in a relationship. So
You're influenced by that. I see. Yeah,
yeah,
breakup season.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I was very influenced by it. I just didn't want to be in a relationship, and like I said, commitment issues. It's a real struggle.
Okay. So, as of now, other than potentially going back to school, what are your short-term and long-term goals? Things you're looking forward to?
I think I'm looking forward to beating my record from last year on raving. I know it's not
Okay.
like you.
Well,
Last
no,
year
no,
you
don't even compare, bro. Stop.
no, last year you beat me, bro.
It's not a competition, man.
um, but this year, last year I went to what like 47 events ish. This year, we're what like 10 weeks? Is it 10? 12, 11 weeks into 2024,
Hmm.
and I have gone to. Let me pull up
Okay.
the notes. I have gone to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 weeks into 2024, I've gone to 11 events. So
Hey.
it's definitely
Fun.
fun, but
Okay.
also it's also draining. It's also draining. I will say that.
Uh huh.
I will admit it is draining. Like there are weekends like last weekend, was it last weekend? Last weekend was what?
The Riot 10 one or?
No, I don't think last weekend was right at 10. I didn't do anything at all last weekend. Did I? No, I went to Dioro. Fuck. I went to Dioro on Friday. I went to Riot 10 beforehand, and then this weekend is Beyond Wonderland.
Was Dioro
Um,
like kind of like your redemption from Beyond last year?
Yes, it was. I will say that Dior set at Academy was really good.
Nice.
The crowd was not though. There was a drunk group of people, four people in front of me,
Yeah.
and they were like dancing. They were having their fun, and I'm all for it, but they were not aware. They were not spatially aware,
Hmm.
and they kept on pushing into me, and I left probably around like 3/4 into Dior's set because I couldn't breathe. But the set itself was good. I am not much of a house person, much less Latin house, but Dior redeemed himself. He
Nice.
his Beyond set at EDC 22 was not that good, and I refuse to see him ever again. But then one of my friends bought my ticket to Dior and said that I had to go, so I was like, okay, I'm going. But yeah.
Okay, nice little redemption. By the way, I do want you to take note in case you didn't see that Vinny said he'll take 2 shots for you at the Airbnb. So keep note of that, because Vinny barely ever
Uh,
takes shots.
2 shots for every shot that I take.
Okay. You know what? This is a good segue to the EDM world. But before I get to that, I do want to finish off like one important thing that you mentioned earlier is that you used to look up to someone, but as of now, do you find yourself like admiring any people in particular, like role models in life?
um, Role models wise, not really. No. Genuinely, I believe I do believe that there is always going to be a role model for someone. There always is. I
Hmm.
just don't think I have found mine yet because I respect my friends, but it's not that I look up to them. There are things that I envy about them. Like the way they are and stuff like that. But it's not like I look up to them. You know.
Yeah, yeah. It's not like you want to be them or live their life.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the EDM world, where do we start? You talked about like your recent events. Um, how do you think you've changed since you started raving to like who you are today?
I was a sober raver for what, 5 years, 6 years, 5 years. Yeah, I was a sober raver for 5 years. I honestly do not know how I did it. And when I say sober raver, I'm talking about like not like doing any of the hard stuff and stuff like that. I was mostly just drinking, right? Um, but nowadays, like obviously, like you know it's not good for you, but every now and then I do. It's just more like at clubs, events, or even shows. The most I'll ever do is drink.
Hmm.
Um, and then festivals is probably the only time I ever partake. But that has definitely, like I went from being part of a small like group of friends who just want to do raving and didn't really care for like the EDM fashion and stuff like that. And so we would always go in either like shorts or jeans and shit like that and just wear like black shirts and that was it. We went from that to like, wanting to dress up to every rave or color coordinate with our friends or buy
Hmm.
jerseys, wear pashminas and stuff like that. So I think that was a change, honestly. I ended up making friends who were into the whole EDM fashion and stuff like that. I wanted to do all that stuff. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm down, you
Yeah.
know? Definitely learned a lot from like learned a lot of different genres. I used to be so my segue into raving started with like house and like bass house because that's usually almost always everyone's segue into EDM because it's like house and bass house is all party music. And then it got into me liking bass, realizing how boring house was. um And then after bass, it was hardstyle, and drum and bass, you know. And now I'm a hardstyle head. I fucking love hardstyle. Um, Drum and bass was definitely in the past year one of the genres that definitely like shot up to the top of the list ever since EDC last year. Um, Bass and melodic will always have my heart. But you will never see me at a house or a trance event or festival or anything like that. I will go to a set every now and then,
Hmm.
but I'm already at my limit for EDC this year. I am only seeing Armin van Buren so Drew can go see Davin.
No shot. You made the deal.
Yeah. Because originally it was supposed to be I go see a trance set with him and then he goes to Stay in Bloom. But because I'm not going to Stay in Bloom anymore, we changed it to at EDC. I go see Armin van Buren with him and he goes to Davin.
Bro, what if the conflicts are so bad for those? You're still gonna commit
I
to it?
honestly don't know. We'll see. I told myself it's like Davin is a must see. But if he were
Yeah.
to conflict with someone else that I really want to see and I haven't seen yet,
Hmm.
then Dabin is someone that I'm willing to miss, you know?
Okay.
And if I miss Dabin, then that means I don't gotta see Armin van Buren, you know?
Okay. Are there any like DJs where it's like it's always a must see?
Black Tiger Sex Machine. Always, 100%. BTSM.
Okay.
My love for BTSM, I always knew of them. I just never went to one of their sets. I
Hmm.
caught a little bit of their set last year at EDC. And then when they presented a back to back with Kaiwachi last year in July, I was all like, I have to go see this.
Yeah.
That set was easily the best show I have ever been to that year in 23. The best show. I had so much fun. I made new friends, but I mean, I don't really talk to them that much now. But you know, the
Yeah,
vibes are
yeah.
just immaculate. You know, the
Hmm.
vibes were just immaculate, and it just like the people around me were super nice.
Yeah.
And I told myself after that set, I was like, I can't miss another BTSM set if they're ever in California. So the next time I saw them was at Academy in September, the night before Nocturnal. That set was all right. It was a lot of drum and bass and
It
like
got weird. Mm.
like bass house and house music, which was a little off-putting because I was like I expected better, you know. But then we saw their set at Nocturnal and that was so much better.
Hmm.
It was mostly bass, some bass house, and it was really good. And then the next time I saw them was literally 2 weeks ago, where they did Skull Machine again. 3 weeks ago, where they did Skull Machine again.
In Seattle.
Um, BTSM back to back Kaiwachi in Seattle. And that set, I will say this was better than their set in July, which was so good.
No
And that
way.
says a
Damn.
lot
That does
because
say
that's
that says a lot.
and the crazy thing is that like that set has me by a chokehold because even I think out of all the shows that I'm going to this year, I think that set can already be claimed as the best set I've ever seen.
Why is that? What about it?
It's just
Production?
the production, the music, just the choice of music that they put towards the show, you know. And I feel like this year's set, Skull Machine set, had a lot of flow, right? It was
Yeah.
um there was a story behind each song. There was a flow, and obviously I wasn't sober, so but I had so much fun.
That's so crazy because I remember when you saw the first Skull Machine, you were just like, this is better than EDC.
Oh yeah, no, and I stand by that statement because I felt like it was better than EDC. Like I just
Damn.
being in that the Civic Center. Granted that the security was fucking terrible and they were like searching us up and down.
Yeah.
Um, that set honestly topped any other set I saw at EDC.
Amazing. And you also went to Thunderdome recently too, right? And that must have
Mhm.
been like an amazing production, but you had way more fun at BTSM.
Oh yeah, no, BTSM tops Thunderdome 100%. I that's unfortunate to say because Thunderdome always has good production, but I genuinely enjoyed BTSM because the production was good and the storyline was good. The music was good. You know, the pick of music was good. Thunderdome, the only set I remember is Excision and Woolly's set. Like those are the two sets I remember, and they were the best sets of the fucking night. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
The back to back was on.
With who again?
Sudden Trash.
Oh, okay.
Sudden Trash Can. That's who.
Why do you say that? Like, just not your style of music? Was it like rhythm or what?
Sudden Death is he. There are certain songs that he has with other people that are good, but my theory is it's because with those people that is the reason why it's so good.
Hmm.
I never really enjoyed a live Sudden Death set, and it just rubs me the wrong way for some reason. Like I just did not like it. Like it's too slow for me.
Okay. So, who would you say is in your top 5 like artists right now?
Slider is my number one. Slider is always going to be my number one.
Hmm.
BTSM. I want to say Reaper. Reaper
Okay.
is a good one. Darren Styles. And then, obviously, for our typical ABB starter pack, Millennium.
Damn, you didn't have to add that part. You could have just said Alenia.
Nah, ABB starter pack, Millennium.
It's so sad that people like kind of pause before they say something about Elenium or they have something to add before admitting Elenium's like their favorite. I've been seeing that a lot,
It's
even
okay.
recently.
See, the thing is, though, is that Millennium was good. We all love
Yeah.
Millennium. Millennium was like literally at least 90% of the Asians start into Raven.
Mm-hmm.
It's just now it's become a stereotype that
Yes.
if you're an Asian raver, your first event was probably an Millennium event, or your favorite artist was probably a Millennium, or you probably listened to Good Things Fall Apart on the radio and was like, "Who the fuck is this? And why is it so good?"
But it's like seen in a negative light in
Yeah,
some way. Like there's a negative connotation to it,
yeah.
from what I noticed.
It's like,
People are
oh,
like,
you're only into raving because you found a Millennium.
yeah, or
But
it's
the thing
just
is, though, is that the
generic.
negative connotation has, it has some truth within it.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain people out there who genuinely only like melodic, and it's almost always Asians because of Millennium. They are never willing to explore out of melodic bass or dubstep because that was what their intro to EDM was, and they're not willing to expand to another artist.
I don't.
Like
Yeah, I
like
don't think that's
I'm
the
gonna
bad
call
part though.
Vinny. Like Vinny. I've never seen Vinny at a house set. I've never seen Vinny at a drum and bass set. I've never seen Vinny at a hardstyle set.
You never see
Most of the
Vinny.
I never see Vinny. That's true.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
That is true. That is very true. I never see Vinny. Vinny always disappears.
Okay, yeah, but with the Elenium thing, I think what you're saying is like valid, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's just people kind of correlate it more so towards like fuckboys' favorite artists or Elenium, stuff like that. So that's the negative light that I'm
He's not
talking
my
about.
number one, so I'm not a fuckboy.
Okay. But yeah, I haven't seen Vinny at some of those events either. You're right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, like when I say house, I mean just straight house, like fucking Chris Lake or Fisher, you know, or John Summit. Vinny at Martin Garrix is like Martin Garrix is also an introduction to a lot of ravers as well, because so
He said he was at Fisher for Countdown. I didn't even see Vinny at Countdown.
I didn't even see Vinny at Countdown either.
Okay, I believe you.
I was also at Fisher for Countdown. I got left. I got
Oh,
abandoned.
here we go.
I got abandoned by Saber Geese.
Does he still owe you?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, okay. So he didn't pay you back yet. Okay, so those are top 5 artists. Got it. Would you say the rave culture or crowd has changed over time since you've been raving?
Mm,
Or is it pretty
I
much the same?
personally don't think I get an opinion on this because when I was raving when I was younger, I was more just secluded into my own group. I was to myself. I didn't really know anything about Plur or anything like that. I didn't really care to meet new people or anything. I just was more
Yeah.
more within my own group, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um I will say this though, the raving scene, like if you look hard enough, like there are genuinely nice people at raves. But because raving has been so saturated into like the world, you know, it's like there are people who go there to either do drugs just to do drugs or, you know, to fucking whatever do whatever it is that they do, you know. There are times where people, you know, like I just feel like it's just common decency and common courtesy to like if you're gonna shove past someone that you at least say excuse me beforehand, you know. Like, were you not raised with, you know, morals? Like,
Manners,
don't
yeah.
you like and manners? Like, don't you? If the shit that pisses you off at a rave, and you do that same shit, then it's stupid because like I don't like getting shoved at a rave. I really don't. So if someone were to either get way too close to me, I would tap them on the shoulder, or I would like, you know, have my hand on their back and just be like, hey, and push them a little bit. And if it gets their attention, be like, hey, you're like in my way, or like you're up in my personal space, stuff like that, you know. Or if I want to get through a crowd, I definitely always say excuse me, you know. I will admit some of our friends are um a little on the ruder side, and they do shove their way through. But to be fair, they aren't sober. I
Okay.
I literally called out one of them the other day. I was like, "You are literally the rudest person when you are not sober."
Damn, fucking
And
Saber, man. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I told her I was all like, "At Escape, you bulldozed through 3 different people, and I had to apologize for you." And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, you are literally the rudest person when you're not sober." So,
Whoa,
and
her.
that's. I mean, do you want me to call her out?
Yeah, fuck
Like,
it.
fucking Yadira, bro.
Oh, okay.
Yadira, when she was at the end of Escape, she bulldozed through 3 different people and didn't apologize or
But
say
you
excuse me.
apologize on her behalf.
Yeah, I did apologize on her behalf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
But
Okay.
yeah, you know, so it's just like that's what it is, and
Pet
like
peeves.
pet peeves. Oh,
Those are your. That is one
oh,
of your pet peeves, but
oh.
I'm sure you have
I
more.
have so many pet peeves at
Hey,
rave,
Drew.
man.
Drew brought up rave baby, so just start on that because you actually did talk about something.
Rave babies are not a pet peeve. It's just I would pretty much like to stay away. I pretty much would like to stay away from them. Only reason is because I haven't had a good experience with rave babies. Um, and when I say rave babies, I mean those of them who are either new to rolling or like just new to festivals in general and like want to have fun, you know, because they don't know proper etiquette, they don't know like respect and shit like that, and responsibility, and so that's why it's like those are the type of rave babies that I try to stay away from. Um, if you are a rave baby that likes to explore and are responsible about it, or at least like um, at least like let people know like if you're gonna go somewhere, then or at least let one person know that you're gonna go somewhere. Then it's like that's whatever, But like it's all about responsibility. Like I am a very big preacher on responsibility. Like be responsible for yourself. Like there are people who care about you and worry for you. At least tell one person. And that's the thing is that for me, yes, I am guilty of running off when it comes to a rave, but I always let people know, or let at least one person know that I'm leaving. So then that way, that person knows that I am gonna be back or that I am out and I am safe.
Mhm.
Um, other pet peeves besides rave babies. My nose is very sensitive, so it's nothing against people who smoke cigarettes or smoke weed. I just do not like it when you are doing it in the vicinity of me. You
Yeah.
know, like, and I'm not gonna say anything about it. I will have like an RBF and like a side eye and shit like that about it, but I'm not gonna say anything about it because my nose is very sensitive and I do not like the smell of weed and I do not like the smell of cigarettes. Another one is fan clacking. Fan clacking, my ears. I'm a very like my body is very sensitive, so I'm very touch sensitive. Like my ears are sensitive, my nose is sensitive. So
Yeah.
like strong smells really hurt my nose. Loud sounds hurt my ears. Um, and like loud annoying sounds. I'm not talking about like loud music. Loud music is whatever, but like um that was that. Like fan clacking is one of the worst, biggest pet peeves that I have. I hate people who fan clack. But the thing is though is that when I was at Dioro the other day on Friday, like I knew people were like that. I just never experienced it. But it unlocked a bigger pet peeve for me. Fan clacking off beat. That shit pissed me off so much because how are you that uh, how are you that bad at fan clacking off beat that I'm hearing a beat and then you're fan clack, a beat then you're fan. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I went to William Black at San Diego, and when I was there, it also unlocked a new pet peeve for me.
Mhm.
They're called woo girls. Do you know what they are?
No.
Woo girls are girls who literally say woo at everything. You're like, woo! Oh my god. They pissed. I was with Saber, and somehow it's always with Saber, okay? There was a group of
Okay.
girls behind us.
Yeah.
We were in when we were in the crowd at William Black, and these girls were literally wooing at every fucking beat drop that was playing. And I was just all like, what the fuck? And my ears were hurting and I fucking hated it. And then one of those girls, I guess, got way too drunk, sat on the floor, then was like rubbing up on my leg. And I was all like, what the fuck? I turn and I'm like, and her friends apologize. I'm like, yeah, you need to get your friend off me because I was like, I don't want that shit.
Huh.
And then later on, she fucking grabs my leg and holds on to it for dear life. And I turn around, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, oh, she's like super drunk or whatever. I'm like, this is the second time I follow Saber and something bad has happened to me.
Yeah. Oh boy, Saber's there to witness these things.
Yeah.
Some pet peeves. Okay.
Excuse me.
Valid.
I think that's it. I think that's all the pet peeves I have. It's just the basic ones, but I mean, they're very like understandable as to why.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Cool. Okay, talk about your personal thoughts and experiences of like side questing versus like being with the group. What would you say your personal pros and cons are, or what you enjoy or just don't like?
Um, being with the group is good because you are there, and if you're not sober, you have people who can take care of you, or like you're comfortable, being around them and stuff like that.
For you in particular, though. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's for me in particular.
Okay.
It's like if I'm not feeling well, like I know I have people I can trust to take care of me. The con of being with your group is my group is nosy as fuck. They are all very, very nosy. Anytime I'm talking to the girl, they're always like, "Are you trying to get at her? Are you trying to talk to her? Is she a Ray-Bay?" Specifically Saber, and Smokes. But like that's what it is.
Be your own man.
Yeah, side questing. I'd say a con is like the anxiety of trying to talk to new people is a little hard, and it's harder when you're sober. Um, I think the pro is like you get to meet people and make the judgment for yourself that whether or not they're weird or something, and you can leave. Whereas if you were to get introduced within the group and they stay with us, you have a weird person in your group for the rest of the time.
Okay. Okay. Going back to that, yeah.
Yeah. That's it. Those are my pros and cons. I really only have like one or two pros or cons when it comes to being with the group and side questing.
Oh, okay. Okay. But yeah, I get it. Side questing. I mean, right now you're in the state of mind where you're not really trying to meet people like that, but you still enjoy it though, right? Side
I
questing.
still enjoy going off on my own
Yeah.
and and being in my own world and stuff like that.
Huh.
But I just don't want to meet new people.
No, that's fair. As of now, like with your mindset, since you're really like enjoying the scene, just going to events, talk about like what keeps you going and like does retirement come to your mind in the foreseeable future? Or do you have like a timeline?
Yeah, I'm retiring after EDC.
Damn, you're twinning.
I'm retiring after EDC. I'm pulling a Vinny, and then you're gonna see me at Martin Garrix.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turns into from Martin Garrix to okay, let's go to EDC again next year. No, but seriously, I do genuinely believe that I will get tired of raving. It might honestly happen next year. Like I'm already tired and like I'm drained and stuff like that. But there are weeks where I'm like I can't wait to go raving and stuff like that. Like I literally just talked about it to my coworker yesterday. And I said, "Oh, dude, I genuinely want to rave. Like I felt like I haven't raved in a while, even though I was here last Friday."
Uh-huh.
Um, and but I think next year, I think I'm gonna limit myself from shows and events and just go to. I would say I'm not gonna stop going to shows and events. I think I'm just gonna go to festivals, mostly festivals, and if there's a specific show that I really genuinely think I'll have a lot of fun at, then I'll go. But I don't think I'm in that mode where I want to go to new shows or events for new artists that I haven't seen yet.
Mm-hmm. For sure. All right. So that's potential retirement, but there's also hiatuses and stuff like
No, I took my hiatus. Now it's retirement
that. So when it
time.
comes to like the festival, like there's so many different festivals during festival season. I'd imagine that you would want to go based on the lineups, but are there any like specific festivals where it's just like you're more inclined to go, such as like let's say
EDC.
yeah EDC. But how about the other
EDC
ones?
is I would say no to the other ones because they're more just for the lineup.
Okay.
Like I will be one to like buy my ticket when it releases, right? But then if the lineup isn't that great, I'll sell it, you know?
Yeah.
But EDC I feel like is always a must every year now until I retire. Because I've already committed to going to EDC this year as well as EDC 2025. So
25?
yeah,
Shit, why is that?
no reason.
Okay. I know. Okay. Nice. Interesting. Okay. So, yeah, there's like it does realistically kind of seem the same, especially when a lot of them are at Naw Center. Like I mean that
Yeah.
is kind of local. Escape, Nocturnal, Countdown, Beyond, you know.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd agree that it's like dependent on lineups. Aside
Yeah.
from EDC in recent memory, what event has been your favorite like festival?
My favorite festival recently definitely has to be Countdown. Countdown this past year.
And the main reason is
I mean, there is a main reason, but I'm not gonna say it. So the main reason is Keizo's hardstyle set. He played a bass set for like 30 minutes. Then the last 30 minutes, he played his Hive Mind set,
yeah.
and it was the best set I have ever. That B set, the best countdown set I have ever been to. So, and that was my fourth countdown.
Nice. You're probably gonna see him at EDC then, huh?
Hive Mind, yes, I am seeing Hive Mind at EDC. That is a must see.
Or other must sees for EDC aside from Armin and Dabin?
Um, Armin isn't by choice.
Yeah, I know, but you made a deal, so
Yeah. Um, must sees, I'd probably have to say Slander, Sarah Landry for like maybe 30 minutes, we'll see. Depends. Um, who else? I want to say Elenium. Elenium for sure.
mhm.
Uh, I don't remember much of the lineup, honestly.
Okay, but do you like the lineup this year?
The lineup is good. I will say that the lineup, based off what I remember from the lineup is good.
Yeah.
It's definitely better than last year's, but there are some artists this last year that I wish were on this year's lineup.
Mm-hmm. Sea Moose and everyone, and welcome in. By the way, appreciate you guys for being here. Yeah, horrible experiences from what I heard about Izu.
Oh, Izu, dude. I was yeah, there's a funny story behind that. I was dropping off Santi at the airport and I was telling Santi about how jealous I was that he was going to Izu.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck it, do I just book a flight and go to Izu? And I was saying all this thing about how I was jealous, right? Then my petty ass finding out Izu was canceled day one was like, look at all you motherfuckers who went through all the trouble to go to Izu, wasted your money, and now it's canceled day one. And so I was like, good thing I didn't go. I was just being super petty about it afterwards, and then I rubbed it in Santi's face. I feel bad, but it's Santi. Come on.
Okay.
But I did also say, and I posted on Twitter, I was like, if Santi doesn't come back with that tattoo, I will personally book a flight back, him a flight back to the East Coast and he's not allowed to come back until he gets one.
Hey, and he did get one.
Yeah, he did.
Fire. Nice. Okay. I'm just gonna ask you this question. You've talked about it before, but probably not to everyone in attendance right now.
Yeah.
Talk about rave bays and how do you get one? That reaction. Keep it real, man. Keep it real.
Uh, um, I don't do rebates. I don't. Like, I'm not gonna say that I 100% disagree or will not get a rave bay,
Uh huh.
right? But I just genuinely do not like the idea of talking to a girl while I'm with my friends and spending all my attention with her instead of with my friends, you know?
Hmm.
Like there are people out there who I have raved with and know that most of the time if I were to get a rave bay that it would be away from the group because I do not want what happened to my friends at countdown to happen again if it were to be me, you know? So,
Hmm.
um plus at the same time, if I were to get a rave bay, and even now to this day, okay, I will admit I had a rave bay account down, and even now I still cannot fucking live it down. No one will fucking stop talking about it, and I like as jokes and stuff like that. It's fine, you know. But then like it gets to the point where sometimes you're just joking way too much, and it's
Yeah.
just like, and then it starts getting annoying, you know, because there are things that I see about our friends, but I joke about it every now and then, but I don't
Uh-uh.
push into it, you know? I don't push into it, I don't rub into it and stuff like that because I know that they genuinely want to keep it to themselves, you know? But when it comes to rave bays, if I were to get one, is mine is just genuine. It's just a hi, how are you? What's your name? I like your outfit, I like your vibe type shit, you know? It's being a genuine person. Be yourself because if you're not yourself and you put a facade and show someone a personality or a person that you are not, then that is the quickest way to get rejected. Um, Girls are not stupid. To all the guys out there who are looking for rave bays, girls are not stupid. They can read through you. It's but the thing is though, like I said, I don't do rave bays when it comes to my friends and group. I genuinely do not like giving my attention to another girl, especially when I decided to go raving with my friends, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If I wanted to, I would side quest. I would go off and stuff like that. And my friends know that when I'm with my friends, all my friends know is when I'm with my friends, I'm vibing with my friends. I'm either in my own world because I'm not sober, or I am literally dancing and singing along with my friends. And that's it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted to get a rave bay, I'm away from the group. So that's all it is. But the thing is though, most of the time, and Wilson can vouch for this, I don't get a rave. So please vouch for that.
Yeah. 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 I vouch for it. But so I know you're not about it and stuff, but realistically, how would you get one?
um it's like I said, it's just that genuine. Be genuine. You know, it's like, hi, how are you? Or hi, what's your name? Or introduce yourself. And don't come into this conversation with expectations. Don't go into a festival with the expectation of finding a rave bait. Don't go talking to a girl expecting her to find you interesting and thinking that you're entitled to some shit. You know. And but if you go in with an open mind, this then things can and will work out for you. I'm going to Beyond this weekend, you know? Like I'm not going there for the expectation of finding a rave babe, but if I am around someone who I find and genuinely has good vibes, um sorry, Bruno's taking a shit, my
Oh, you're good. You're good.
bad. um if I am around someone who I believe has genuinely good vibes, I will go and talk to them. Be like, hey, I like your vibe, or if I like their outfit, and it could be as simple as just giving them a compliment, and maybe eventually, or you guys strike a conversation, and maybe she wants to dance with you. He or she wants to dance with you. But if it doesn't happen, then don't expect it. You just move on. You enjoy that. You enjoy the rest of the festival with your friends, or you move on. You find someone else. But you, everyone who is going to a festival should always be there for their friends or for their music, and that is it. Not for the expectation of finding a rave bay or friend or whatever.
Well said. Well said. Do you have any stories of when like people would hit on you at raves? The
You
reactions.
asked me that because I do.
Oh, not that I could remember right now.
Griffin at San Francisco.
Griffin. Oh.
When Katie was in town, Katie and Ace were in town.
Yeah. What happened that night?
We were at Griffin, and this girl thought that I was cute. But the thing is, though, I wasn't. I was completely stone cold sober. I sobered up so quickly after drinking in the parking lot. And because her entire group, including her, were pushing and jumping, and I was getting shoved by that group, and I wasn't vibing with that group whatsoever. This girl, however, turned around, tried to apologize for stepping on my foot, and I told her it's okay, it's whatever. But then she later on tried to strike a conversation with me, and was like, "Oh, I think you're cute. Would you like to dance?" Stuff like that. It's as simple as that. If you were trying to find a rave, And I shot her down. I was like, I genuinely, I told her, I was like, no, it's okay. But the thing is, though, is that like, it was kind of an asshole move for me to do. But the thing is, though, is like, I wanted to just, I wanted to be that one and only time that she asked me, and for her to understand not to ask me again. So I told her I had a girlfriend, right? Even though I didn't. And she was like, oh, okay, right? Then I guess she had a conversation with one of her friends or whatever about me, because then her friend comes up to me, introduces herself to me, and says hi and stuff like that, and was all like, oh, my friend thinks you're cute. She would really like to dance with you, but she's afraid to ask you again. And I told her, I was like, no, I have a girlfriend. And she's like, oh, it could be a one-time thing. And I was like, nah, no. And I was just like, no thanks. And that's when I told her not to ask me again and that she should turn around and watch the show.
Oh. Damn. I didn't even know about this. Or at least I don't remember. I swear you guys were all around me, so how did I miss that? Jeez.
No, because I ended up getting separated from the group slightly because I was with Kelly and her group.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so you were further down. Okay, I remember generally
we
where
ended
they
up
were.
merging groups, and then we got separated, and I was like, my feet hurt. I don't want to move, so
Yeah. Got it. Damn. I definitely remember that night. There was a lot of yak in front of me.
yeah.
Okay.
So that's definitely one time someone has come up to me and like flirted with me.
Mm-hmm. And like asked you, and then damn, the friend like stepped in too. Well, one time thing is crazy.
One time thing is crazy. I don't believe in that shit. I would never like if I was in a relationship and I went to a rave with my friends and I didn't have my significant other with me, literally, it doesn't matter who wants to like dance with me, who needs a shoulder ride or whatever. It's an immediate no, right?
Yeah.
I am a loyal person, and I will never cheat.
Mm-hmm.
Never. I have been cheated on. It's not fun. So I would never cheat on my significant other.
Yeah, and closing things out with like the topic about like rave bays and stuff. I think what you mentioned earlier is pretty important. I think everyone like in the group has like a dynamic of where there's like a lot of trolling and joking and stuff.
Yeah.
And you said like they're hella nosy. I guess everyone, yeah, of course, like information goes around. But realistically, if they were to like find a Ray-Ban stuff, like I'm sure I know how you see it, but for me, like I at the end of the day, I don't really care as long as you're having a good time and stuff. Like even if you're within the group where you like wander off, whatnot, I'm sure
Mhm.
it'll like be the talk of the town, like in the beginning. But I do find that there is like a line where you just shouldn't cross it and make it that big of a deal because it could be very like annoying or frustrating deal with, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's yeah, there's stuff like that. So I think that's just great, and I know people like within the group ultimately understand that. Just remember like banter is like a two-way thing, so just don't overstep sometimes. Or just know when to stop.
Mhm. I agree 100%.
Um yeah, I think oh that's crazy though, because like one thing's to be nosy, but then kind of in a way exposing or just like airing out other people's laundry is just not great a great look.
Yeah. Mhm.
So be considerate, guys. Be considerate. Not like specifically calling anyone out, just in general.
Yeah, Vinny.
Vinny. You know what? That's true. Fucking Vinny.
Yeah, fuck you, Vinny.
I'm just kidding, Vinny. Well, I'm not kidding. The balance. There is one thing. Okay, with Vinny though, like what he knows this. He knows this. Like if it's like super serious, I would tell him. Like I would tell him like not to push it, but he has like pushed it for other people. All right, we're almost done wrapping things up. I do want to talk to you about what are your expectations and plans for Beyond, since Beyond is already in 3 days.
Oh, oh. I
Less than three
mean,
days.
it's a good ass lineup. I will say
Yeah.
this, and I've beyond. I don't have a lot of conflicts. I just wish that you were gonna see BTSM over
Alesso?
Alesso.
Uh, there's there's a there's a chance. I do have the schedule and everything. But
Yeah,
it's like you know how fucking crowded it's gonna be at that time too.
but it's. I feel like it's gonna be more crowded at Alesso than it is at BTSM.
Well no, but then like after Alesso is literally slander.
Oh, that's
And it's to
right.
end the night. That's why
That's
I favored that
right.
so much, especially because I've only seen Alesso once.
No, wait. You seen Alesso when?
Our first EDC.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Oh yeah, you did.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
um, no, you know what? That's a valid point. But I think Nathaniel and I are gonna both see BTSM, and then we'll
Yeah.
leave BTSM early to go to meet up with you at Slander.
Yeah, I think that works. It's dude, I'm gonna be at the Queen's Domain like majority of the time for day two. Cause Dabin's
Okay, but
there.
like, what is it? Who's the closer on day one? It was someone versus Anger Fist. Chain
It's
Smokers. Come on,
Chainsmokers.
Anger Fist. Wilson hard
Bro, I
hard
love
style.
Chainsmokers.
Yeah, but come on, chain smokers at Countdown was meh.
But it might be different this time. It's okay. Like you could definitely see Angry Fist or Anger Fist. He's like hardcore. He's pretty hardcore. I've
Yeah, he
listened to
is.
his stuff.
Yeah.
Any other conflicts for you?
Let me
Like
see.
BTSM is so valid, but I've seen BTSM so much last year. I'm not tired of them, but I just want to see Alesso, especially
Oh,
for the
do you
spot.
want to? Okay, I don't usually like to go to house sets, but only because it's an option. Do you want to go at 2:30 to see Omnom?
Wait, do you have to pay for that?
I don't know if you have to pay for it
Like if you don't, then I don't care going early because I ideally thought we would go early, but
because they have an opening ceremony at Caterpillar's Garden. So I don't know whether or not if we have to pay to get in early. I
Yeah.
don't think we do.
Okay, if we don't, then I think I would be down. So it's cool.
Yeah,
Skip
but
dabbing.
anyways,
RJ.
from here, my 8 o'clock, I have a conflict between Benny Benassi and Gasly. Which one are you going to?
For wait, day 2
Day one,
at 8.
8 o'clock. Yeah.
Oh, honestly, I'm gonna go see Crystal Skies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. RJ, thank you for
What
the
about
raid. I hope you had a great stream.
um?
Appreciate you, man.
Who are you seeing at 11?
I'm gonna see the back-to-back, Kill the Noise and Trivecta.
Ah, okay, okay. I'm splitting Kuhn and Sarah Landry.
Oh yeah. I know Sarah Landry was like a conflict for that, so I get it.
I'm picking Subtronics over Jason Ross,
I am too.
and then Anger Fist over Chainsmokers.
Yeah. Wait, you're gonna see Sully, right?
I'm seeing Sully, yeah.
Okay.
Day 2.
Wait, that's your start for day 1?
Yeah. Oh no, day 1. My first one is Tsunami at 5:50.
Okay. Realistically, we are gonna go early though, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Because I'm down to see all the other artists and stuff like that. It's just 5:50 is when my list starts.
Do you have something after Tsunami? Are you trying to see Crank That?
Crank That at 7.
Okay. Got it. And then
day 2, 5:45. I'm gonna give Hades another chance.
that's the base one, right?
Yeah.
I think we saw Hades at day 1 of Zombieland or something, right?
Yeah. That was alright. And then 6:45. I'm gonna see Level Up.
Okay. I have those as well.
7:45 or 7:50. It was either between it was either between Fight Case or Say My Nitty.
Okay. I don't really have a major preference, but I just put Say My Nitty.
Yeah, I don't have a major preference on that one either.
Because at that point, yeah.
And then it was 7:50 to 8:50. So at 8:45, I probably want to see Bo.
Who's Bo? Like, what does Bo play?
I think it's drum. If I remember correctly, I think it's drum and bass. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, drum and bass.
Because I know the potential conflict is like Wax Motive, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I have a preference during that time, but I just want to be like, I'm gonna be at the Queens for Dabin for sure.
Yeah. I'm picking Dabin over Hall, and then Dylan Francis back-to-back Valentino.
Okay.
And then BTSM, then Slander.
Slander to end things. Got it.
Yep.
Okay, so that's your general plan for Beyond. What's the group looking like from what you know, or like who are you trying to meet up with, see, maybe even wander off? Like, what was your plan?
I'm not really trying to wander off, honestly. It's just like whatever goes.
Okay.
I'm planning to stick with our small group, which is like Nathaniel, Angel, you, and me. And then we'll meet up. We'll figure.
That's
out
hella small. Damn.
Yeah.
Well, that's who you're. Wait, Saber's not going anymore?
No, Saber's going to day 2, I think. That's what he said.
I thought he was going both days.
No, I'm pretty sure he said day 2.
Okay. Are you aware that High's also going?
I am, yes. He asked me for a ride, but I didn't have space in my car.
Okay. Yeah, so gonna be quite a few people, and no one else that you're trying to meet up with.
No, not really.
What happened to?
No one has really reached out to me to meet up. So.
What about Eileen? What happened to Eileen? And we're from Cali, so we're talking about Beyond in SoCal.
I don't know what's going on there.
Is she still going?
Yeah, I think so, but I'm not putting myself in that situation, and
Okay.
Staying out of it.
All good. Okay, so that's the move, and I assume we're just gonna like get lunch early and then just go straight there, huh?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Okay.
So whatever time you arrive on Thursday, rest up.
Yeah.
We're gonna leave early.
And we'll figure out like. lands, like meetup spots and stuff, if anything. Okay, so that's beyond. Do you have any like events that you really want to go to that you still haven't?
Like festivals wise or just shows?
It could be both. And good night, RJ, by the way. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for the raid again.
I
Good
want
for
to
you.
go to Minneapolis
Specifically.
for Skull Machine again.
Oh, what the hell?
Yes, and that's the first week of May.
So that's more so for the artist then, right? Rather
Yeah, it's for
than
the artists.
you
Yeah.
venue and event.
Oh, I've never been to the Armory, and I've heard good things about it. So I really want to see it. Like, I want to go over to like the East Coast to check out all these nice venues that apparently are good. The Armory,
Is that the
fucking
Minneapolis one or what?
yeah, it's in Minneapolis. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What else is over there? I, I don't remember on the top of my head, but there are some
There's
venues
like
over there
Lost Lands, Ultra,
over in the
Veld.
Midwest and yeah, East Coast that I want to check out. But yeah, so like I'm trying to make Slander at Red Rocks a thing this year.
Sheesh. That'd be
So
fun.
Slander at Red Rocks, guys. If you guys see me there, say hi. Wilson will probably be there because I'm gonna buy his ticket.
It's when is it?
October 4th.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
A long way to go.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not planning on going to Escape this year, so
Okay.
I think I could put that money into Slander at Red Rocks.
Oh, and also for EDC, are you planning to do one of the clubs before EDC?
No.
Okay, knowing how exhausting EDC is. I feel like some of our group members are trying to go, right? So
Some of them want to see Arm & Hammer and Excision, and I am not against it, but I am not throwing a party at our Airbnb.
okay, that settles that. That settles that.
It is a hard no. I am not throwing a party at like if it's just because there's 16 of us already in the house. Literally, it's already a party, and we're all gonna be drinking left and right, and it's yeah. So, and I am not down to have 30 more people show up at our house randomly. So
Yeah, 16. We can have 31. It's a pretty big one, right? The Airbnb.
it's the Airbnb's 3 floors.
Yeah, gonna be vlogging and everything for EDC, so excited for
Yeah,
that.
it's like a whole ass fucking mansion.
House tour.
But though the on day 0 of EDC, I think some of us are gonna go to the strip
Okay.
and gamble.
Gamble and Fat Tuesdays.
And Fat Tuesdays, exactly.
All right, finishing things off, I do want to know your input about the group that we have and stuff, or just like the rave group. But before that, who has the best style, like dress style, when it comes? Because you talked about like how you've learned to dress and like even match and stuff. Do you feel like anyone in particular within the group dresses well for like festivals and stuff? And it's okay if not.
Um, out of our group, I don't know. This is hard. I don't. I know that the girls in our group they all like to coordinate the outfits as best as they can. So they try to either wear the same color or wear something similar to it.
Mhm.
Out of the guys, we tend to like match colors with the girls, and that's the most that we'll do. Um, you have your typical rave bros who wear jerseys all the time. Fucking Saber has his Hunter x Hunter jersey, like literally 24/7.
Mm.
If anything, honestly, I would say it's probably me out of the group because I literally always dress up. Yeah, I'm literally
I
looking at my
think
rave clothes right now, and I'm like, I probably am the best dressed out of all our group. It's either someone's wearing shorts or jeans or a shirt, or they're wearing a basketball jersey or an artist jersey. Whereas I have literally reflective clothing, and like with Zombieland, I wore a fucking gold t-shirt, gold button up. Um, yeah, I think it's me.
yeah, I would agree. I think it's you. And then you definitely have like colors. Also, like the Halloween fit was pretty cool and all that.
Yeah, the Halloween fit was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The black fit at Slender was pretty cool, but I feel like it's just the generic, typical ABB shit, Um, I think I like my my white reflective Playboy outfit.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that one is pretty fire. I like that one.
Rave fashion, guys. Once you get into it, pretty cool. You know, express yourself. All right. So talk about uh the group. Talk about each individual, what they're like at raves to you, like how you would describe them. Could be
All
any details that you want to give off. And you let's start with
right.
yourself first and then just go down the line.
Okay, let's start with this. I am okay. So a lot of people would consider me a rave dad, and yes, technically the term is rave dad. But the thing is, though, is like I will let you be if you say you're okay, right? If you say you're okay, you're fine, then I will let you be. I'm not the one to be like, oh, you need a fan, you need Vicks, you need a vape, you need gum, whatever, right? I'm not like that, right? I if you need help or you need a fan, I will do it for you. If you need a shoulder ride, I'll give you a shoulder ride. Don't matter, right? But the thing is, though, I'd rather just leave you alone because the thing is, I know how it is when you're rolling or even when you're drunk, right? It's some people like to be in their own world, and when I am like that, I'd like to be in my own world. So, um, that's what it is. That's the type of raver that I am, and I also like to side quest a lot, which ends up me leaving the group most of the time. But I'm pretty good about finding my group, so it's not that
Mhm.
hard. Then you got. I mean, I'm gonna include people that do rave with us pretty often,
Yeah,
but
go
aren't
for it.
like there all the time. We have our three yappeteers, bro. Our three yappers. Okay, whether they're sober or not, they yap. All right. Yapper number one, Mr. Santee.
Woo!
Santee will yap when he's drunk, non-stop. He when Santee is drunk or he's dirty rolling, he will yap and yap and yap, and sometimes like there's some depth to what he says, but other times he just says stupid shit, and it's so funny, and I find it so very entertaining.
Uh,
Um, then we have yapper number two. This guy yaps when he's sober and when he's drunk, okay? And that is Saber. Saber yaps all the fucking time. And this guy swears he doesn't yap. But the thing is, though, is that he's like, give me an example of when I yap. I was like, slander. It doesn't matter if you're yapping to me or yapping to another person. You yapped right in front of me. He was trying to talk to a girl right in front of me, and he was standing right in front of me. And I could not watch the show because all I see is his head turning to the side every fucking second to talk to the girl. And I'm just like, dude, stop moving your head and stop yapping. Yeah.
that's how you
And then
describe him
yapper.
as a raver? Just a yapper.
Oh yeah, no, Saber's a yapper.
Okay.
Um, hey, my Beyond ticket. Don't play with that. Give me that. All right. Then there's Smokes.
Ooh.
He is yapper number three, and no one can disagree with me on this one. Smokes after a rave is a non-stop yapper. He will not stop talking about how good the show was, how bad the show was, how much he hates house, how much he will never ever listen to any other genre except bass. That is literally Smokes 24/7 after a rave. The last time that happened was BTSM. he wasn't yapping about how good the rave was. He was just hopped up on Addy, and he was just like wanting to play games or whatever, and he was yapping about how like I didn't want to play games with him, and I was all like, fine, fucking pull the cards up, and I beat this guy, and he wants to play 13. I beat this guy like 17 games of 13. And he's like, don't say anything, just run it back. And I'm just like, no, you're losing. Let me sleep. um, but it's funny. It's funny. It's like, although they yap, they they're my friends, and I love them. You know, they Smokes is the type to take care of the people around him. He's always watching out. He's very protective. Saber is also very, very protective. He can be an airhead sometimes, but he's also very protective. Santi just loves his friends too much because he doesn't get to see them every day. So, um,
Uh-huh.
and then we have Ali, who literally is in her own world every time she is at a festival. She puts on these glasses and she just looks like she's standing there like a fucking garden gnome, just like glasses on, just chomping on her gum, and I'm like, dude, Ali, you good?
Garden gnome. Fuck. Oh god.
Who else do we have in our group? We have Drew and Delena, the mom and dad of the group. Um, Drew and Delena are take care of the group. They also get equally as fucked up as we do, but they also take care of the group and house like literally everyone. If anything, they're the rave house, okay? Um, who else? Yadira comes to raves from time to time. Yadira is definitely a wook. After a festival, she's got the pashmina on. She has the pashmina on like 2 hours into the festival, and she's like in her own fucking world, just like vibing and stuff like that. So Yadira is definitely the wook. Um, who else?
There's like Leslie, Hi, Nathaniel, Chrissy.
Leslie's also a rave mom. Like she'll take care of you and stuff like that. But she's also just there. She loves the music. She's there for us. She's there for the music as well. Nathaniel, he's the Glover. He's the guy who does all the light shows. This man is a true believer in not making candy because he thinks that he deserves candy for gloving, or he only gets candy for gloving for doing light shows. So he's like, oh, I don't need to trade anything. I do light shows. um,
Interesting.
Chrissy is the runaway. Chrissy is a yes person. She will literally say yes to everything.
The
And
runaway yes person?
Yeah, and run away, and she won't say anything. She just leaves.
Wait, yes as in what though?
Like if someone were to ask her to go get a drink, she will say yes, and she'll.
Oh, okay.
She did that at Zombieland, bro. Never to be found for another 4 hours.
True, true.
Maddie just joined our group as of Countdown.
Well, that's true, so you don't know like as much.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many people within our group, but if you really want to narrow it down to the specific people who go to raves all the time, it's literally just me, you, Smokes, Ali, Saber. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a lot of people who end up joining our group and stuff like that.
Like here and there, yeah.
Here and there. Wilson is the guy who talks to everyone. He's the hi. What's your name? You got good vibes. Positive vibes.
What the hell?
And then Wilson will go dive into their whole life story like it's a podcast, bro. He's like, "Oh, so where are you from? What's your favorite genre of music? Do you have Instagram? Are you on Twitch? Do you have TikTok? Please don't tell me you have TikTok because I don't want you to recognize you from any video."
What the fuck are you going on about? You lost me halfway through. That's funny as fuck. Yeah, I've evolved within the last few shows for sure. I don't know about maybe festivals too, but like definitely shows. I've been doing that
Wilson's
a lot.
a friend group whore.
What?
He will join. He will meet other people and say hi to them, and then leave us in the dust.
Bro, when have I done that with you? What the fuck? I'm literally like always with the group, which is crazy. Dude, remember Countdown? I was left alone and EDC.
No, I was with you at EDC. Cosmic Meadow, that one spot.
You were.
Yeah. The entire time. Day one.
No, Saber, you're hella projecting. Relax. See, like, I stay with the group and shit happens to me. Like, I got probed by the aliens and shit.
Dude, I heard you got a alien rave bait, bro.
Dude, that was so weird. He rubbed my nipple. And then just dipped.
But yeah, I mean, that's what it is, you know.
Yeah, that's the group and
everyone
stuff.
has their own rave personality. So
I didn't like it. I was appalled. I was like, what is happening? I didn't get their number. Alright, so that's like the raving talk. Yeah, we definitely caught up and talked about a lot of things. Was there anything in particular you wanted to talk about before I wrap things up?
yeah, I would like to dive in as to why Drew hates Davin.
Wait, what the hell? That has nothing to do with your podcast.
No, it has everything to do with it. Because why do I have to make a deal with Drew to go see Armin van Buren just so that I can get him to see Davin? Because Davin is the best.
He was just not feeling Davin.
How could he not feel Davin when he doesn't even remember any of it?
That's a good point, actually. I don't know where this started.
He's in the Shadow Realm. The entire time.
That is so true. That was the day where he was like, I'm 15 shots in pre-gaming.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, you could get drunk at home and I could have just told you were Davin and you wouldn't even remember.
I don't know, maybe it's just jokes at this point, but he managed to get a good deal to get you to go to Armin now.
It's okay, we're going to the rails of Davin. I'm a rail rider.
You prefer the rails? Like, you prefer being really up close now?
I have my preferences. It depends on the set.
Okay.
But sure. Just for Davin, Drew and I are going to the rails.
Alright. For sure.
If I have to stay awake during an Armin set, we're going to the rails at Davin.
He said no.
It's okay. You will be too drunk to remember.
Oh, damn. I don't even know what it's gonna be like for Beyond. We'll see. Yeah, Davin's gonna be lit. That's
Davin is the best.
Must see. All right, that's
a rave talk right there.
Yeah, that's a good talk. We talked about a lot, like the updates and stuff. I mean, I knew like a good chunk of it, but it's just cool to like actually hear you talk it out, especially with those who don't know about it. All right, I'm gonna wrap things up for the YouTube segment, at least. Thank you to everyone for tuning in to this episode of Chat with Wilson, specifically episode 12, featuring Will, aka DrasticPurge. Do you have any last few words to say to everyone?
Yeah, it was fun. I hope everyone enjoys. I'm not usually like this. I'm not like a serious person, but like when it comes to Wilson's podcast, I like to like talk about certain things that like I don't usually get to talk about to a lot of people, so you know. But anyways, Wilson's in ABB. Go find him in ABG.
What the? Damn, like that at the end of the podcast too is crazy. Hey, ignore that part. Ignore
Hey,
that
he
part.
knows. He knows the little.
I don't. I couldn't even do that when they were trying to teach me, bro. That was. Some of you guys are just naturals at it. Anyways, but yeah, that's a wrap for this one. You guys could expect to see this video within the next 2 days. Definitely, I'll try to post this before leaving for Beyond. Gonna go to the Rave Earth Festival this weekend. It's back to festival season. Super excited for that. Just got to get through Wednesday and Thursday of work. Thank you to everyone for tuning in, whether you were lurking or watching as a live audience. Thank you guys for stopping by the stream. If you guys are watching from YouTube, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe because that would support me and I would appreciate that. Take care and see you possibly next week or so for the next episode.
Onlyfans.com/wilsonchang.
Damn.
I had to put it in.
Peace!